More exciting, entertaining, energy, and epic. Tauihi Basketball, rated E.
Kia ora everyone, nā mai, hara mai, hello and welcome. Great to have you with us. Tamaki Makato, Friday night of a long weekend. Looking forward to some basketball, starting off with the Sky Broadband Rapid League between the Kāhu and the Pouākai. Of course, the GJ Gardner Homes Tauihi coming up a little later tonight. Thanks for joining us. Justin Nelson and Casey Frank with you for the early game as these two teams clash horns again, Casey. They did so just 5 or 6 days ago down in Christchurch.
And it's always an interesting situation when you come across a team that you just recently met in the Rapid League. Of course, the Pouākai went down, so they're going to have to try and pick up the pace there. But when we get to the later game, they're going to have to try and maintain a level of excellence that they hadn't found. I think a little easier when you lost the last one to get pumped up for the next one.
Well, in the Rapid League, this is the way the ladder looks at the moment. Just 3 rounds into the season, of course. Kāhu 3-1. Taking on the Pouākai here tonight, sitting in 4th, 1-2. Early stages, of course, in the Sky Broadband Rapid League. Let's have a look at the starters for the Mainland Pouākai. Proudly partnered by Halswell, Timber, Morrison, Mamaluga, Tuilave, Cabillo. The Aussie comes in, the 25-year-old Australian guard out of the Northern Territory. Her first game here tonight, and Ashley Strawbridge, who's been in a little bit of form.
Yeah, she's been playing well. And when you look at this team, a little bit more size than their opposition, you're going to wonder, are they going to try and attack from the perimeter? Are they going to work through the height they have in Tuilave as well as the other players?
Like the uniforms as well. Let's have a look at the Kāhu starters back on home turf. Williams Sefor comes in for her very first game. The young 17-year-old star, Lily Rotuno, the Aussie. Crystal Ledger-Walker, well-versed at this style of game. Asia Anderson out there with Tuaiti as well. There's the Chemist Warehouse head-to-head.
And there you see it, the form, the Kāhu have been able to play pretty well as of late. 3 out of the last 4, back and forth for the Pouākai. The field goal percentage, that's where the Pouākai need to improve if they want to get the victory in this one.
Coin officials, Sasha Nicholson, Sam McVadzine and Ben McLaughlin. We are ready to go. The early game tonight from Auckland. Sky Broadband Rapid League. Kāhu in that, what would you call it, Case? The blue and a dash of orange and almost the zebra uniforms of the Pouākai. Do you like that?
The zebra, I don't know how we want to pronounce it, but either way, it's getting me a little dizzy if I look up too close. Look good on TV, though. It's almost like one of those puzzles that you got to let your eyes unfocus on when you see it right up close and personal.
I do like the fact that we've started tonight with a debate on zebra or zebra, though.
You never know what you're going to get, Justin. You never know what you're going to get.
A lot of stories to unfold this evening. As you mentioned earlier, let's not forget that the Pouākai got their first ever Tauihi win last week against the Kāhu. So a lot to play out this evening. We're underway. Tessa Morrison with the opening possession for the Pouākai. Great to see her back in New Zealand.
Yeah, it's been great to have her back. Played a little 3x3 Cup a couple years ago with the Nelson squad, so good to see her getting the opportunity to play over here again. Early
stages, opening shot coming from Ashley Strawbridge. And now the Kāhu into attack for the first time. Asia Anderson's been in a little bit of form, hasn't she? Just uses the ball well there to Lily Rotuno. Unable to score. Battle off the boards. Anderson comes back up with it. They reset the Kāhu. Look away pass. Ledger-Walker a little bit too deep to Iti.
Well, foul is called there on Asia Anderson. Will stay with the Pouākai, but I like the offensive set for the Kāhu. They were able to get the ball through a lot of hands, force the defense to rotate around, and had 2 pretty decent looks at the rim. Unfortunately for them, weren't able to get even a drop.
Ball carrying duty going the way of Abby Cabillo here, who's almost double-teamed off the inbound. Smart work by the Kāhu, making it a little bit of a pressure situation for the Pouākai.
They're aggressive on the ball right now. You see how the hands are moving. They're really pressuring into drives, but didn't have any effect on that one. As we see the drive straight to the cup for Strawbridge.
As we mentioned, she found a little bit of form last week, Ashley Strawbridge. 11 points in the corresponding Rapid League game against the Kāhu last week. It was a loss, though, for the Pouākai. Oh, Crystal Ledger-Walker just made it look so easy then. That's a hard shot.
She really does have a nice ability to score that she doesn't impose on the game very often, but always content to set up her teammates and play the defensive role more often.
On the drive and putting it in.
High off the
Timo.
glass.
Tessa Morrison, man, that almost took down the lights.
I mean, it's not often you see a layup go off the G.J. Gardner home sign on the top of the backboard there, but this one might have come close. That is a soft touch put on display there by Tessa Morrison.
Saw all the starters there for the Pouākai looking on. Really good mood in that camp as well, Casey. 2 wins in a row now. That comeback win against the Hoiho in round 2. They were 19 down in that game and got up, and then, of course, got to say, it was an upset last week, taking care of business against the Kāhu.
Fantastic job defensively to get that one done, and especially after the way the season started against the Phi, didn't really get the offense flowing. They've really transformed their squad in a couple of weeks to a really scheme-based roster.
The 2 Aussies working together for the Kāhu, Lily Rotuno and Steph Bairstow. Bairstow missed last week, it must be said. She was off on personal leave, and she's had a wonderful start to the season in the Sky Broadband Rapid League, leading the way, leading scorer in the competition.
Her size is so imposing at this level. She's probably the most accomplished big who gets to play in the Rapid League this season, and the majority of other teams just don't have that kind of size coming off their bench in the Tauihi, so they're not able to compete with her skill set quite as well.
Also one of the older, more experienced players, 30 years of age, had a birthday just a couple of weeks ago here in New Zealand. I'm sure she would have had her brother Sean over for dinner or something like that, or maybe he cooked for her.
I don't know if you ever want that from the brother.
More points there for the Pouākai. They've had a good start midway through the first quarter tonight. Sky Broadband Rapid League, they're out by 3. Ledger-Walker into the corner. Oh, Bairstow, the player we're talking about, drains the triple.
Love the pace that they played with there. First, the push up into the hands of Crystal Ledger-Walker, and then the quick pass to the corner for 3.
Manamaluga sends it back out to Morrison. To Alave inside now. Great footwork. Just unable to get the roll on the glass.
Tuolave's getting used to playing against size. Such a like of Bairstow at a return from the collegiate system.
Anderson now off the left. A little bit too deep. Gets it back.
She's grinding the offensive glass right now. It's gotten a couple of possessions with the effort there.
Got to say, there's not too many that work as hard as Asia Anderson as well.
Strawbridge with pace. Pushing it in transition, just attacking the defense of Crystal Ledger-Walker after the turnover, not giving her the opportunity to settle or get her comrades back into the defensive end with her. You'd love to see that kind of activity in transition.
Now Ash Strawbridge heads to the Chemist Warehouse. First trip tonight, all tied up at 7 apiece. First one is short.
It's had a nice little offensive burst here by both teams to start the game. They're both playing with a bit of pace, getting that ball through hands, and finding success in the areas that they're attacking.
Played that 6-man role in the Tauihi last week against the Kāhu with Cassandra Brown, the Canadian, out with a back injury. News is she's also out tonight. Crystal Ledger-Walker for 2 off the glass.
Beautiful pass. Unfortunately, Rotuno does not like the call afterwards. Scrappy effort by the point guard, first on the assist and then getting up and in to pressure defensively. And that's surprisingly, the 4th foul in the quarter, so that will be free throws for the Pouākai.
Abby Cabillo.
The new pickup.
First run in the competition. She'll play a key role later tonight in Tauihi as well. Out of Darwin, Northern Territory in Australia, the first ever Northern Territorian. They are called Territorians.
Territorians?
Yeah,
right.
To play in the Australian WNBL, the 25-year-old.
Well, it's going to be a nice pickup. I've checked out the highlights. Pretty surprising a player of her skill set is to see another Bairstow bucket. was still able to be signed up at this late juncture. Not a lot of options out there, so big bonus for the Pouākai to be able to grab her.
Got to say, Steph Bairstow, mid-range jumper, is as good as you will see in the competition. Rarely misses. Good work to Alave underneath the basket. They keep it alive here, the Pouākai. They'll get to go again with 25 to play. Vitalia to Alave. Can't convert. Ledger Walker now on the drive.
Well, she went a bit early. Bit surprising she went that early. Might want to have held it for the last shot. Of course, hindsight is always 20/20.
Especially from our position.
It's always easy to say here.
Both teams still have their BNZ player timeout. Unlikely to use it in the first quarter. More likely in the second. Here's Cabillo. She'll be aware of the time on the clock here. We're at 10. Has a turn of speed. Draws contact. Can't get the fall. She'll head back to the Chemist Warehouse.
I like everything about that setup with just 6 seconds left, the foul called. First to Olave coming up to set that screen high, forcing Bairstow to step out to the three-point line to try and stop Cubillo, who just switches directions, attacks the body, gets the contact, can't get the finish, but a chance here at the Chemist Warehouse where she hits the first to tie the ball game up.
She's a world champion as well, it must be said. Gold medalist. I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. Second one goes down. So some good late points in this opening quarter for the Pouākai. They're out by 1. Foul committed mid-court.
A little bit of a touch foul, but not too bad really because it stops that transition opportunity. 3 seconds left to get a shot off and not yet in the bonus. So the Kāhu not going to use their player timeout, but wouldn't mind seeing a touchdown to Steph Bairstow in the low block here, straight on the entry pass.
Surrounded by BNZ signage as well, Crystal Ledger Walker. Now would be a great time to support the sponsor with a BNZ player timeout. Instead, she's going to go deep to Anderson. That one, too much on it, and that'll do us. So the opening quarter tonight in the Sky Broadband Rapid League, exciting. Both teams finding some open run, and it's the visitors. The Halswell Timber Mainland Pouākai leading by 1. Let's have a quick look at the Chemist Warehouse stats.
And it's gotten off to a great start shooting-wise for the Kāhu, who are 4 for 8 at 50% in the opening quarter, 3 for 6 from 2, 50% from there as well, and 1 for 2 from 3, so 50% from everywhere except for the free throw line. And the free throw line is where most of the damage is done for the Pouākai. No blocks yet in the game.
I do appreciate the fact that we brought it up, though.
Steph Bairstow, there you see the scoring. Crystal Ledger Walker getting it done. The rebounds, Anderson and Strawbridge leading the way. Multiple contributors behind them in the assists. Just 3 assists for the Kāhu, just 1 for the Pouākai. That goes to Menumalega, as Rotuno has 2 for the Kāhu. But it's the free throw line that is keeping the Pouākai in this game. They are 6 for 7 from the stripe right now. The nice job of continuing to get that scoreboard ticking over by getting those fouls and getting themselves to the Chemist Warehouse.
Large cup pepperoni pizza, that's this week's special with thanks to Sal's, just $30. That is a bargain. There's the QR code. There's the online code. Love a pepperoni. Now, I mentioned that player a minute ago, Abby Cabillo. We just saw her at the back of the huddle there wearing number 8. New player coming in for the Pouākai tonight. FIBA Under-17 gold medalist in Spain back in 2016. And there were some guns in that team, it must be said.
Well, it's always a fantastic experience for the juniors to be able to get to those FIBA tournaments and succeed at a high level. Of course, we had a bit of success this year with the under-17 Tall Blacks, getting all the way to that top of the table as well before falling at the end. And memories that last a lifetime.
Well, I'm going to tell you about some of those star players in that team in a moment. Asia Anderson.
There's the work rate. Back on the offensive glass, she is absolutely attacking the Pouākai in that area, refusing to be blocked out on any possession. Picks up her first points of the game, but her 3rd rebound.
In that Australian under-17 gold medal winning team, world champs 2016, not just Abby Cabillo, who we're seeing in action tonight, but also Ezzy Magbegor, of course, star player with the Seattle Storm, a teammate of Jordan Horston. Monique Conti, who is a WNBL player in Australia, but also a star AFL women's player. Won the best in the league last year in the women's AFL. I know you don't like it. I know. We'll move on.
Is this a chance for you to bring up star Australian athletes?
We'll move on. But I want to mention one more player because we do get to see her on our screens this year, and she's had a wonderful start to the season, and that is Lara McSpadden at the 5 in the same team. There you go.
It'd be a nice little reunion then for those two, but McSpadden's been playing very well as of late with that outside-in game.
Here's Rotuno. Close game here, early stages of the second quarter. Anderson's been involved in everything. Back cut, that was the aim to Tauihi. Off a foot though, Kāhu will hold possession.
Nice job there by Timms to get her foot in the way to take away what would have been a surefire 2 points if Tauihi would have been able to get the catch. Asia Anderson checks out of the ball game now. Crystal Ledger-Walker checking in. Somebody's going to have to pick up the work rate to equal what Anderson was giving them out there those past few possessions.
Deserves a break, to be fair. Here's Ledger-Walker, steps back at the Chemist Warehouse, soft touch.
This creates just enough space with that stop, that speed, the ability to decelerate there, creating that mid-range jump shot opportunity.
Such an experienced player, isn't she? Manamaluga fires from deep.
Well, it's Timms there, I think, with the foul over the back.
Yeah, it is.
You like the aggression, I like the attack. You know, if you see the ball, get the ball. If you want it more, you got a chance. And not a long break for Asia Anderson.
At about 20 seconds.
She checks back in for Steph Bairstow. Well, I expect might get a little bit of a run in the Tauihi tonight.
Injury news tonight. Mary Goulding continues to be out for the Kāhu. She's away on personal reasons at the moment. And we can confirm that Cassandra Brown will miss again for the Pouākai, the Canadian centre, out with that back injury. Tauihi inside. Can't finish. Manamaluga with the rebound, and quickly Tara Manamaluga up the floor. Strawbridge now draws contact.
Had Seppa Williams, guarding her there. And when you see a young player on you like that, and you've got a little bit of age gap in that ability, you want to attack them, you want to test them, you want to see if they have that strength and the quickness of foot. And Williams Seppa will check out of the ball game after getting that whistle blown on her.
Gee, she's had a big year as well, hasn't she? Cody Williams Seppa out of Westlake Girls. Manamaluga for 3, unable to complete. And here comes Lily Rotuno, always working at pace.
Nice defense by Manamaluga in transition.
Nice back screen set up high for the run of Anderson, unable to finish. And now the Pouākai with a chance. Strawbridge fires from deep for 3. That one doesn't land.
Really do like the aggression of the Pouākai though. They're not backing down at all. They're really picking up their effort. Remember, this is a team that went down last round by 12 to this Kāhu squad. So they're right where they want them, have them right where they want them right now, being in the game.
Cody Williams Seffel, by the way, was one of a handful of Kiwis over in Perth recently for the NBA Basketball Without Borders camp. Great to see so many New Zealanders doing well over there, Case.
The opportunities, if you can get into those environments, are just so many. Just not just the knowledge you soak up, but of course getting on the radar of those scouts around the world at the professional level, at the collegiate level, which has become such a valued pathway for our young athletes. Another opportunity if you can get for the players to go there and produce, it really does change their trajectories quite often.
Kāhu in a zone now defensively. Foul on Rotuno. Scoring's dried up so far in this second quarter. Started with a nice open game, but it has tightened right up. Minute to play in the first half. Pouākai down by 3. Turnover. Rotuno swoops on it. And all the way to the hoop on Manamaluga for 2.
If you're going to have a loose handle, do not have it around Rotuno, because she will pounce on that quickly, this time turning defense to offense.
Manamaluga looking to return serve at the other end. Comes up short, margin at 5.
Looking for another 2-for-1 opportunity are the Kāhu.
Ledger-Walker to Rotuno.
Oh, fantastic. Last 30 seconds of the quarter here. Early timeout by the Pouākai. It actually tips possession favor back towards the Kāhu. With a timeout with 28 seconds left, they could have used the entire shot clock, just about, gotten a shot up late. with just 4 seconds or so left to play. But now they're going to have to bring the ball up to the front court. That's going to put 14 on the shot clock and make it a little bit easier for the Kāhu and their last possession. So the timeout, good to settle them, get a good play, but gives an easy opportunity as we see the BNZ player timeout there.
QR code that'll come up throughout the night. Groups, school groups, sporting groups, community groups. Come along and join us at a game of Tauihi with thanks to BNZ. Look out for that QR code throughout the evening and scan away, fill in your group's details, and you can be joining us with thanks to BNZ. Late chance here. Cabillo is all wrapped up inside.
Oh, travel called. So there's 2 calls there. One was a jump ball, the second was a travel. And now we've got the travel before the jump ball. Excellent defense there. Barutuno, who's been a real spark plug in this first quarter. 5 points, a rebound, 2 assists, forcing the turnover there, and she gets the last 19 seconds of the quarter to catch a breath.
Brings a lot of energy, doesn't she? Those 2 youngsters out of the WNBL, Cabillo and Ratuno. No doubt they have squared off against each other in the past. Crystal Ledger-Walker with the smarts. Clock down to 6 to 5. Goes inside, off the back over the head, Anderson, and Bairstow right on the buzzer has drawn a foul. She'll head to the Chemist Warehouse.
Fantastic execution. Really timed that nicely, that entry pass by Crystal Ledger-Walker right where it needed to be. Anderson couldn't get that nifty reverse layup to drop, but Steph Bairstow on the spot for the offensive rebound to put back opportunity.
I think the coin officials here, Case, just discussing what goes back on the clock here.
Got to be something, not going to be much. Going to be about 0.2, 0.4.
Can I just ask you?
Oh, 1.5.
Wow.
Well, that is.
Wow, that's a little bit more than what we thought there'd be. In fact, that's going to change now, is it? No, it's going to stay at 1.5.
The question there was who was the foul on, and it's on 24.
Which is Maddie Timms.
I think initially it was called on 4, but not. Wasn't on Vitalia Tolave, wasn't involved in the play, or wasn't the one they wanted to whistle with it.
Bairstow moves to 8 in the game. Kāhu's made a big run in this second quarter. I'm not sure the Pouākai have scored, have they?
Well, really just this last, they scored 1 point of the Pouākai, but this last 4 seconds, and now almost got a 3 on it. Lazy finish to the quarter for the Pouākai, and that's cost them a 10-point deficit here at the halftime break.
Margin of 10, Sky Broadband Rapid League tonight. Kāhu making their move in that second quarter. 22-12 over the Pouākai. And that late chance there for Crystal Ledger-Walker, I'm going to go out on a limb here pretty safely. I think Crystal Ledger-Walker gets more steals off a baseline inbound from the opposition than any other player in the competition.
Like a alligator in deep water is always ready to strike. That time didn't get the 3, but got the steal. Taking a look at the stats here, brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. Steph Bairstow leading all scorers with 9. Crystal Ledger-Walker could have made it 9 had she hit that 3, but on 6, second leading scorer in the game. Ratuno, 5 for herself. All top 3 leading scorers for the Kāhu. The rebounds, Asia Anderson attacking the offensive glass, getting plenty of opportunity there. Strawbridge, the only Pouākai with more than 1 rebound in the half. Off to the assists, KLW, Lily Ratuno leading the way with 4 assists as Manumalega, the only disher of the rock for the Pouākai. A lot of turnovers created by the Kāhu. 4 in total, 3 of those through steals. Strawbridge active on the defensive end as well. Don't think we got any blocks yet in the game, so we'll leave that stat off there as the Kāhu are just about ready to take the court once again.
All of the stats, of course, with thanks to Chemist Warehouse. Don't think I'm breaking any confidence here, but I can say that Chemist Warehouse has just signed on for another 2 years with the Sal's NBL and GJ Gardner Homes Tauihi, which is fantastic news.
No, it's always fantastic news. The commercial support is so vital to the lifeblood of sport in this country, and it means so much to the athletes and the fans and the opportunities they create for players all over the country. So that is good news if you are actually, in fact, allowed to share it, Justin.
Well, you know what we're like. We apologise later. A long time later.
I hope all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted in that contract.
Speaking of big news,
there's a little bit coming our way.
There's a little bit coming our way next week. Stay tuned. across all media and basketball platforms in New Zealand. Some big news on the way next week.
Big news. Can it fit through 2 doors in the gym?
Well, as long as they're wide doors.
Wide doors?
Maybe.
Oh.
It's not taco. It's not taco fall, by the way. Second half underway tonight in the Sky Broadband Rapid League. GJ Gardner Homes at Tauihi still to come. That tips off 7:30 p.m. local time here in Auckland, New Zealand.
Tuna worked out low against Tuolave, giving up about 9 inches, not getting posted up.
Battle at the moment for the Pouākai. Kāhu come up with it. Their first possession of this second half. William Seffor back out there. Good to see the youngster. Asia Anderson's been fantastic on the give and go from Ledger Walker. Anderson, just the footwork underneath, surrounded defensively, but has come up with it.
The chase for the ball by Anderson has been impeccable here in tonight's game. She is just so quick to react. The first one to read the angle and get on the basketball. Even that one, she was pretty much effectively boxed out, but just had the read on where the ball would go.
Rituno on the inbound.
I'd like to see the Pouākai get something on the rim here. They just haven't been able to get anything going from deep. Need to get aggressive, get back to the stripe.
Cabillo sends it into Strawbridge off 1 foot. That's a tough shot.
Man, off the right foot, off the right hand, right in the teeth of the defense, but showed that soft touch, as you mentioned, to get the ball in the net.
Kāhu took down the Pouākai in this corresponding game last week in Christchurch. 36-24 on that occasion as, Crystal Ledger Walker adds another 2.
It's not the fastest rip through in the league, but the decel to get to the jump shot just gets her that space she needs to drop the 2 each and every time she uses it.
Just loads of experience. Here's Cabillo on the step through.
With the left, that's beautiful use of the body there before getting it up and cutting that lead down to 8 points.
Anderson inside again, getting busy. And again, another offensive rebound. Look out.
Nice job, Strawbridge, to get it. Fast break opportunity.
Has Cabillo on the wing, instead goes it alone, and why not? Had the advantage over Rituno.
And one of the few times Rituno got outworked today, but it wasn't really outworked, it was just outsized. And Strawbridge knew that Rituno could not affect that jumper.
And margin back to 6, so the Pouākai just on a mini run here. Manamaluga goes up to Morrison, nowhere to go with Bairstow. Tried to pass it into Tuolave. Surrounded now.
Thought that might have been a kick. Nice read by Tessa Morrison. Unfortunately, couldn't get that ball through the feet, it appeared.
William Seffor. Anderson. Rituno. Nice little fake there to get on the drive. Loses it, though, on the way through. Morrison now to finish off. No, she won't.
Well, started thinking about the finish and started thinking about the William Seffor defense that was about to come her way. So nice hustle back in transition. Take another look at it. I believe this is the Strawbridge finish right over Rituno. She recognizes the size advantage, goes straight up and over, gets the soft touch to drop the 2, and back to live action we are.
She has 7 in the game now, Strawbridge. Tuiiti, championship player with the Kāhu last season. Bairstow for 3.
And the foul underneath sounds like an offensive foul on the Kāhu, but the 3 will count.
Foul is on Eliana Tuiiti, all tangled up underneath.
It's kind of fun to get a free shot in. The shot goes in, doesn't affect your team. She picks up foul number 3. You get a little tangled up, it doesn't affect the team. Take another look at it. There's the kick up high, and underneath she was getting aggressive with Cabillo, who wisely chose the floppy route. Nothing wrong with it. We all use the tools that we have at our disposal.
There's Strawbridge. Oh, look at this. Defense just surrounding her. Cabillo now for 3, up high.
Excellent work to Olave on the boards.
Did really well, didn't she? Now Manamaluga for 3. Just unable to get that punch that they need. And a foul on the rebound. Pouākai not happy.
Strawbridge thought she had that clean. She's trying to compelled the rest of the officiating crew. And
well, to be fair, she was just shoved out of court about 20 seconds earlier.
Well, that you know, why are you always talking about old stuff, Justin?
Good crowd starting to build up as well.
They've done a fantastic job working with BBNZ to fill these buildings, have the Kāhu here in the early season. And really nice to see the support for the Rapid League so strong.
Margin at 9, 30 seconds to play in this third quarter. Ratuno, William Sefor, Bairstow's been everywhere. This time on the drive, steps around to her right, unable to get it to go. Good rebound, William Sefor, back out to Bairstow.
And they are annihilating the offensive glass, nearly doubling up the Pouākai on the rebounds.
Cabillo head down, charging through the little Australian point guard. 7.7 to play.
Tolave to the bench. Bringing in Laura Tafada.
Kāhu just going about putting up a nice score again in this competition. If you're new to the Rapid League, turnover there. 4 by 4 minute quarters. And of course, the only players who can play in the Sky Broadband Rapid League are those coming off the bench later tonight in Tauihi. Brand new innovation here in New Zealand, been in place in both competitions for a year and is going really, really well.
One good turnover deserves another. Is that how the saying goes? Turn, or maybe turn, not turnover.
Always learn something when I'm commentating with you, Case.
Most of that is how much you dislike commentating with me.
No, not at all. Cabillo.
Foul called on the shot or on the floor.
She'll head to the Chemist Warehouse.
3 shots.
Oh, hello. Must have just been outside. Yeah, well picked up by the coin officials.
It looked like a bit of a runner, and I was wondering if it was going to be behind the line or from in front.
Speaking of commentary and what's coming up this weekend on Sky Sport with Tauihi, Cabillo knocks down the first. The Phi and the Queens battle tomorrow night from the Taupō Event Centre. So for locals throughout the middle of the North Island, get along to Taupō and see some Tauihi action. Those two teams put on an absolute beauty last week.
There is going to be some offensive firepower on display once again, I'm sure.
Cabillo nails a couple.
Biggest fireworks display this side of Guy Fawkes Day, I think, in Taupō in quite some time.
That'll do us to three-quarter time. Margin at 6. The Pouākai are sticking around. Kāhu 27-21 with the lead. Getting back to that fine Queens game tomorrow night. Kason Bookman will be on the microphone for that one, and Andrew Mulligan stops by.
It's about time that man did some work.
Where's he been?
He's just taking a little bit of a holiday, I guess.
Well, he might have been
on the internet.
He might have been out there. He might have been out there doing some sales jobs for Sky Broadband. The FIBA started $27.50 a month for the first 3 months. You know the deal. Switch and save. That offer is available until October 31. The other game in round 4 of Tauihi, Sunday afternoon down in Christchurch. The Pouākai back in action, taking on the Hoiho, who had a win last week, their first win of the season. These two teams met in round 2, Case. Hoiho led by 19.
Yeah, what a comeback it was. They led by, I want to say it was about 16, but that closing run by the Pouākai was sort of seemed like when that team found itself on the court.
I agree.
Started to play at a much higher rate of efficiency since that second quarter and that fourth quarter, with most of the majority of that comeback really occurred. But flying back from Auckland, that's a tough road home doubleheader to pull off, and especially when the Hoiho, the team that normally has to travel the most, has a bit of a shorter trip in this instance.
Get your tickets to that one. Selling fast as always down there at Cal's Stadium. The Pouākai and Hoiho. Sunday afternoon, Rapid League from 2 and Tauihi from 3 p.m. Maya Williamson and Nick Bewley looking after proceedings on Sky Sport. Last quarter underway here. Kāhu with the opening possession. 6-point game. So the Pouākai still with an opportunity. There's Ledger Walker. Loves that spin and step back and rarely misses.
She just really understands how to create some space for that jump shot. You know, that time it was the spin move to the step back, and she just always is able to get enough space for that soft touch.
Tessa Morrison couldn't get past Bairstow. Now Ledger Walker, maybe the first nail about to come. Bairstow's been busy. Oh, there's an offensive foul here off the ball.
I think that's on William Seffo underneath the basket there. And I'd love to see the young players get out there and bang bodies a little bit, not be afraid of the ruck.
Had a good chat before tonight's game with Crystal Ledger Walker's family, and plenty of them here supporting her tonight. Just loving basketball, which you'd expect from the family. Yeah, absolutely.
They spent some time around the game.
Just loving it. Cabillo can't get the roll off the glass. Rebound for Bairstow. She's strong, isn't she?
She's playing so well. Just a force inside, but that scoring touch, she can score from anywhere. Got to guard her out beyond the arc. Just look at that size advantage she has. She can get a catch whenever she wants one.
Lauren Tafata held up in that Bairstow screen. Has to get back and play some defense. Turnover there for the Kāhu.
Yeah, I like the offense. The way Ledger Walker came off that screen, draw two, and she was always going to go back to Bairstow. She was just setting up, but was unable to get that pass on target, leading to a turnover. The Pouākai, they need to make some inroads here right now. 2:40 left. They need some buckets. They need to string them together if they're going to have a chance to get this win.
Last quarter in tonight's Sky Broadband Rapid League.
Timms with a nice post move. Left hand goes up and gets the finish.
Some injury news out of tomorrow night's game, the Phi and the Queens. I can confirm that Michaela Cowling will not be playing. Bairstow for three, drains that from up high. And I can also confirm, Casey, that Tamari Key is out for the Queens. Rolled an ankle at training, I believe, during the week.
Well, it certainly changes the profile of that squad when you have the loss of Tamari Key and the size she brings to the table. It'll be interesting to see how the Queens go without her in the starting lineup, although she hasn't played a ton of minutes as of late. Hasn't been one of the players that they've been really relying on.
I think she battled a little bit of illness back from the China trip, and taken her a while to find her feet off the back of that. And now she will miss tomorrow night with that ankle injury. Michaela Cowling, of course, late into the country off foot surgery. Here's Ledger Walker in and out for the three. But then from all reports, was struck down with a pretty bad illness last week in Tauranga. So that's why she's missing.
Illness abounds. It's not that time of the year. It's supposed to be summertime almost, Justin.
There you go.
Don't need these summer colds.
Mind you, international plane flights.
Not the place you want to be.
Not the place you want to be.
That's where the vid got me.
32-23. Just under 90 seconds to play in the Sky Broadband Rapid League tonight. GJ Gardner-Holmes, Tauihi looking forward to it. Return clash between these two. The Pouākai took down the Kāhu. Last week in Christchurch, it was the Kāhu's first loss since August 2023. That's a fair while between drinks.
Pretty good little streak there. 10 wins across 2 seasons. As we see an illegal post up there by Asia Anderson. And the Pouākai, one last desperate attempt here to try and get themselves into this ball game.
Coin officials have been all over the offensive fouls tonight. Everything needs to be a win here for the Pouākai. Let's see what they can do late. Manamaluga on the dribble now, finds some space, pulls up at the Chemist Warehouse. A little bit too deep. Another rebound for the Kāhu and another one for Bairstow.
The Kāhu are going. They know every point counts. You see that aggressiveness with their running offense right now.
Like to see a little bit more of Bairstow in Tauihi tonight. She's found some real form playing in the Rapid League.
I think that's a foul called on the rebound. It is. It's going to be free throws here for the Pouākai.
Eliana Tuieti.
Really the only thing the Kāhu can do is foul, stop the clock, and really Rotuna saying that was not a foul.
If you've been following all of the basketball on Sky Sport and ESPN over the last 48 hours, it has been a smorgasbord, the return of the NBA over the last couple of days. It's been fun. Speaking of all things in America, the WNBA Final Series, playoff series. Man, what a series that was.
A little bit of controversy to finish it, but
just a tad.
Heck of a cap to a fantastic season, though, and hopefully everything gets worked out on the labor side.
Well done to Sandy Brondello and her team. Dying stages here tonight. Bairstow with the little runner.
Oh, I appreciate Cabillo getting in there, thinking about the charge, and then discretion being the better part of valor there as she pulls out last second.
That'd be you versus me, I think. But who's got the ball?
Either way, I'm okay.
Inbound, a late score.
William
and that
Seffer.
might be first points.
Her teammates know it. They'll pump for her.
Cody Williams-Sefor, her first points in the big league on debut tonight. Cabillo, both teams still have their BNZ player timeout. In and out for Abby Cabillo. Margin at 9. Inside the last 10 now, Rotuno. Every basket counts, of course, with the way the ladders work. Not going to bother Lily Rotuno, though. She's not even going to get a shot up. That'll do us. Sky Broadband Rapid League tonight. The BNZ Northern Kāhu take down the Halswell Timber Mainland Pouākai 34-25. And in the end, Casey, after a really tight opening quarter, the Kāhu controlled this one.
Yeah, it was, and it actually was a scoreless second quarter. They had 12 in the opener. I thought it was 11-11. They had an extra point added. So it was a 0-point second quarter that eventually does them in. And a fantastic all-around effort from the Kāhu, led by Steph Bairstow and Crystal Ledger-Walker, both at double-digit points to get that 9-point lead.
Which, it's got to be said, in the 4x4 minute game,
That's a big win.
It's very, very good.
Strawbridge and Cabillo did the best to keep pace with 9 points apiece. As we get to the rebounds, that is where the damage was done for the Kāhu. A 24-14 advantage overall. Anderson, Bairstow, both with 6.
How good was Asia Anderson tonight?
I mean, the effort was infectious. Really inspired her teammates to play at a higher level. There you see the assist. Crystal Ledger-Walker with 3, 2 for Tauihi and Rotuno. 1 apiece for a trio of Pouākai. And I think we ended up with 0 blocks in the game as well before the steals. 2 for Ledger-Walker, 2 for Bairstow.
So the Kāhu improved their Rapid League season to 4 wins and 1 loss. The Pouākai at 1-3, and they return to Christchurch on Sunday to take on the Hoi Horse. So that'll do us for this one. Sky Broadband Rapid League, run and won by the Kāhu. And coming up here at Eventfinda Stadium in the not too distant future, we switch on to the GJ Gardner Homes Tauihi, a return bout. Last week, the Pouākai got their first ever win in Tauihi over the Kāhu. Can they make it 2 from 2 over the Northerners inside a week? 7:30 p.m. local time. Make sure you join us right here on Sky Sport. On the other side of the break, some of the best bits from season 2023. And then we're back for live action. We'll see you soon.
captain, Davidson. And let's welcome out Kāhu. Ladies and gentlemen, your team tonight, the BBNZ Northern Kāhu. Let's play some ball. Coming into the Giants match, both teams start the season very well. One team, the Kāhu, 3-1, the Pouākai, 2-1, 1-3 on the ladder, 1-3.
Haley, big win against the Kāhu last week where your defensive scheme
Basketball is a movie, and every game is a blockbuster.
We'll just find out two very lucky fans here. Got to have one at least with some merch on for our upgrade here. These two people here. Your name is? Brett, and you are? Joanne. Brett and Joanne obviously supporting the Kāhu tonight. How would you like to upgrade your seats to courtside? Right, well done to our winners here. We're going to do that. That's next to our amazing support, of course, of utterly marquee events throughout season 2024. We're going to get Brett and Joanne down the court side here, on the home court end as well. So you'll see all the changes going there. With Coach Jody Cameron and everything calling the shots on the other side. So well done, you get to sit in there, comfy as too. And we'll shout out our amazing sponsors once again, utterly marquee and event hire, one of our great sponsors for season 24.
Basketball is a movie, and every game is a blockbuster.
This season is alive!
E for exciting, entertaining, energy, and epic. Tauihi Basketball, rated E.
Help me up, never let it fall. Help me roar like an animal. Back to the bone. Watch out, 'cause I'm in my zone.
Kia ora everyone, no mai hara mai, hello and welcome. Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland on the North Shore, the home of the BNZ Northern Kāhu tonight, taking on the Pro Build ITM Mainland Pouākai. GJ Gardner Homes at Tauihi, round 4 about to tip off. One of 3 big games across this long weekend here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Great to have you with us wherever you may be tuning in right around the world. Sky Sport in New Zealand, ESPN3 in the United States, and FIBA YouTube globally. Justin Nelson, Casey Frank with you. Great to see you, Case. We do it all again, and look at that poll to start us off tonight. Not a lot of love for the Pouākai, which is surprising given the Pouākai beat the Kāhu 6 days ago.
Little Rodney Dangerfield, no respect around here. What do you got to do to get a little respect? Get the win. Get less than 2 out of 10 people thinking they're going to get it again. But it is a little bit different on the road, and it's going to be a difficult task to contain a powerful Kāhu offense for the second straight game.
Great to see you. Let's have a look at the GJ Gardner Homes at Tauihi ladder. With that loss last week, the Kāhu, their first defeat since August last year after a 10-game winning streak. The Pouākai head to second. That was the first time they've actually beaten the Kāhu in this competition.
Fantastic win. It's a long time coming. The 3rd season in to get over the top. Shows how dominant the Kāhu have been in that time.
Games coming up tomorrow night, the Fire and the Queens. That game is at Taupō Event Centre. What a thriller they put on last week.
It was a fantastic offensive display. What a comeback by the Five, but just enough for the Tokomano Queens to hold them off.
Pouākai and the Hoi Hoi battle it out on Sunday in Christchurch. Round 5 tips off next week on Thursday night with the Kāhu back here at home at Eventfinda Stadium, taking on the Fire. Well, the visitors, they were great last week on their home deck. They led by as much as 19 before taking down the Kāhu by 9. Forbes, Can, Rynell, Robati and McGoldrick. No Cassandra Brown again, Case. The Canadian centre is out with a back injury.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. It really does affect their size in the middle, but they were able to get it done around to go. And despite the excellence of Amari Thomas, everywhere else the defensive activity was perfect, really.
American Hayley Rynell was in really good touch last week. You had a chance to have a chat with her before tonight's game. Let's go and meet Hayley Rynell.
Hayley, big win against the Kāhu last week where your defensive schemes really limited a lot of their top scorers. Do you have any new wrinkles in the bag for today's game, or going to go back to the same scheme you had last time out?
I feel like last game we did a really good job of controlling the ball screen, and they're pretty good at scoring off of that. So if we can keep doing that and be consistent on defense and really play as a team, I think that we'll have a similar outcome as last week.
The Pouākai have been able to find a little bit of success at home and on the road. Now back on the road against a team you just beat. How do you prepare yourselves to get up for this win despite having the confidence from that home win?
Yep, that game was amazing to play in, but every game is a new game. So I would say that we're taking it just as a new game as it is. So we're really looking forward to, going out there and giving our best effort. I feel like everyone's really focused, and I don't expect anything less than a win today.
Rynell, 82% of the viewers at home at the moment going with the Kāhu to win this one tonight. Let's have a look at how they'll start. The BNZ Northern Kāhu, top of the table at the moment, and they will be dirty, let me say that, coming off that loss. They're not used to losing to Paya, Forster, Davidson, Palvast, and Amari Thomas. And how about the form of Amari Thomas, equaling a league record high score last week of 37 points.
All-Star 5 last year, but has her eyes set on MVP with performances like that, an unstoppable force in the post, and lightness of foot to score on you from anywhere else as well.
Speaking of the Californian, let's go and catch up with her now. Here's Amari Thomas.
Well, Amari coming off a huge performance, tying the league mark high, 37 points. When you got all that success in that last game, how were you able to find it against that Pouākai defense?
I think I just wanted to do anything to help us get back in the game, and we were really struggling. I was able to hit some shots, and my teammates were able to find me, so it was good.
Overall, though, the Kāhu down offensively, a good defensive plan from the Pouākai. Do you have some new wrinkles to attack what they were able to facilitate against you guys and taking out some of the other league performers for your squad?
I definitely think we're going to adjust. For us, it's going to start with our defense and not our offense. So I think we just have to really focus on that end, and offense will come. We're a team full of scores, so it'll be there.
21 points, nearly 9 rebounds a game so far this season. She leads Tauihi all-time scoring, 456 points.
That's not bad in the season and a bit. I feel she might be a wee bit out of reach for anybody in 2 seasons after she's done this year.
Chemist Warehouse head-to-head for this one tonight, the Kāhu and the Pouākai. And the big talking point here is Cassie Brown. Look at those numbers, nearly 20 points and 9 rebounds a game. She's out, but she was also out last week, Casey, and the Pouākai got up and got the win.
And whenever you're losing a player of that caliber with that kind of average, you know that you can't do it with just one player, because if you had that player, they'd already be starting. So you have to do it as a collective. Everybody else has to come along. You see the key clash. Michaela Kahn carried so much of that load on her shoulders last week.
How good was she last week?
So good, especially in that first half. 16 points pretty much out the gate. Chloe Forrester, is she going to be able to have more of an impact on her defensively? She's been such a thorn in the side of the opposition guards over the season, but couldn't have that same effect a round ago. Can she find a way to get back at that level? Then, of course, the Amari Thomas on the side of the Kāhu. When you're talking about her scoring ability leading the way, she is probably the most dangerous weapon the Kāhu have. But when Talia Tupaia is going from deep, that is when things get ethereal, because then you can't guard them on the inside, you can't guard them on the outside. The plan last week from Coach Flynn and the Pouākai was really nice. They did a good job of slowing things down everywhere else. Let's see if they can do it again.
Well, speaking of weapons, pick 28 WNBA 2024 draft to the LA Sparks, Mackenzie Forbes. I reckon she's set to explode tonight. The Californian, you had the opportunity, Case, to catch up with Mackenzie Forbes ahead of tonight's game, to meet her and learn a little bit more about her. Here she is, Mackenzie Forbes.
Well, Mackenzie, you've settled in on the court quite nicely, averaging over 16 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists per game. But off the court, how are you finding your time in Aotearoa down in Christchurch?
Yeah, it's been great. I love just, getting to know the culture and the people here, and I'm really enjoying myself. So.
As one of the more experienced and talented players, bringing basketball to that next generation of Kiwis here in New Zealand, how have you found sort of sharing the game with those basketball players that are up and coming?
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of work in the community, and so it's pretty cool to kind of just see, when we pull up to their schools and then you see them at the games, just kind of inspiring that next generation. So I think it's a great thing all around for women's basketball.
And just finally, little birdie told me that your dad was in touch with the social campaigns for the leagues, just checking to make sure that he could get the games. As you've seen the games, as you're getting photos, as you keeping up to date with your performances here.
Yeah, he's definitely locked in on us, and they're staying up late in California time to watch us play, so we're going to try to get the win for them every time.
Well, pardon the pun, Case, a globe-trotting family, of course, but how good is it through ESPN3 in the United States? We've got so many of our American family and friends watching on Tauihi this season, and clearly Mackenzie's family is loving it.
Oh, it's a great time to be watching basketball in California. Hope the Forbes clan is checking things out, but it really is a great testament to the global nature of basketball, that at any time of day, it's prime time here in New Zealand, but around the world, there are some night owls who are definitely interested in getting a little bit more bouncing ball on their television screens.
And believe it or not, through the pre-game, the Pouākai have actually dropped a percent. More going with the Kāhu tonight. Some Sal's Pizzas up for grabs. Scan that QR code and have your say. We're not too far away from a start. The coin officials for this one tonight. Round 4 tipping off in the GJ Gardner Homes, Tauihi. Those with the whistle, Ryan Jones, Sasha Nicholson, I should say, and Sam McVadze. Pretty hard to hear ourselves in here at the moment, Case.
Getting a bit loud here before tip-off. Let's see if it gets loud on the court. I like this Pouākai lineup, very switchy. That may be one of the reasons they were so good. But can the Kāhu really impose their will against a team that did the same to them a week ago?
Well, a battle in the jump through about 4 sets of hands. In the end, it ends up with the Pouākai.
Straight pinball action.
Dominated the boards last week, didn't they? Ezra McGoldrick is in really good form right now. On the way through, slashing cut from Tennille Can.
Nice action, the on-ball rub screen, so she attacks Amari Thomas on the run, but Michaela can cut through the cut there. Doesn't stop moving, makes herself available for the finish.
Michaela, I should say, not Tennille. Also a very good basketballer, Tennille Can, but that doesn't matter right now. Palvast switches play out to the left wing, forced to know where to go. Back to Shivana Palvast. That one well short on the three-point attempt.
Yeah, not a bad shot considering the shot clock. That's certainly one she's capable of making. A little bit rushed, and we see the defensive intensity for the Pouākai has not dropped at all since these two teams last met.
That scoreboard in stadium, I would expect to get fixed up at some stage. It is 2-0 at the moment after that Michaela Can.
And there it is.
Cut to the basket, just been fixed up. McGoldrick, Rynell from deep. Wasn't too far away either.
Had that lined up. Felt pretty confident leaving the hand. Did the Kāhu have a response?
Forster, Tapia, her first touch. Dumps it in for Davidson. Stuck on the baseline, nowhere to go. Great defense, Rynell.
Rynell closed that gap. It looked like Davidson had a nice layup. And look at her run the lane, make herself available. Really creating opportunities. Love that work rate.
Love a rim runner, don't we? Here's Rabati, doubled by Davidson. Excellent defense. Foul called. Tapia tangled up with Rabati.
It's going to get grindy, and I like it.
Well, it did last week, didn't it? GJ Gardner-Holmes replay.
Look at the physicality that's being played with here. See this cut by Rabati comes in. There's a little bit of a foul there. She gets away with it, and then she just pulls her straight to the ground.
First foul on Talia Tapia tonight.
Tapia as clamp to the player as they're in the league, but no one can show their frustrations as easily, I think, in this competition.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Here's Forbes. Tapia's got the job on her. Rynell. Mackenzie Forbes now on the drive. Nice finish at the hoop.
Well, good survey of the defenders in front of her. Tapia trailing her that time, and the help defense came for a second but didn't get enough time to recover. So a good finish created by Mackenzie Forbes' read of the defense.
Averages 15 a game so far this Tauihi season. She's got the defensive job back the other way on Tapia. I reckon Forbes is ready to really light it up tonight. Thomas can hit a three. That one away to the right.
Look at these long shot clock possessions, though. Really stretching things out for the Kāhu, taking away that first and second, the options that they have on their list.
Can. Off the right hand, leaves it short. Thomas with the rebound. Kāhu on the run now. Forster has some cover from Davidson. Receives it back. Corner three. Unable to finish. McGoldrick with the rebound.
Well, the work rate is high for the Pouākai. Can they start getting some rewards on the offensive end from it?
Forbes over Tapia, and those two are having some words back down the court. Forbes thought she was fouled. And that is going to be a feisty matchup tonight. Bit of spice already between Talia Tapia and Mackenzie Forbes.
Official Sasha Nicholson is having a word with Talia Tapia and Mackenzie Forbes right now.
Well, as Forbes was talking to the coin official, Sasha Nicholson, down the floor, Tapia just flicked the arm away of Mackenzie Forbes. And I think Sasha Nicholson just saying to Tapia, hey, just be careful. Let's stay focused on the job at hand.
Well, I'm sure that'll nip it in the bud.
Thomas, Tapia. This is how she responds. Long three, doesn't go. Rynell comes up with it. Tennille Can. As you said, Casey, huge first half last week against the Kāhu.
And Michaela Khan coming again, attacking.
Hands it off to Forbes. Trying to create some space. Gee, Thomas did well there.
And Mackenzie Forbes thinking, a wee bit of contact there. I don't know if you noticed, but I got shoved to the ground. But I think that the ball was already loose at that point. And that could sort of be seen as more of an equal fight for the ball than the personal foul that Forbes may have thought it was.
Read a story on Michaela Can during the week. Obviously playing great basketball, but a mum of three. All three children are here with her in New Zealand. Yeah.
She's got them in warm-ups, trying to get them settled. I mean, incredible job.
And playing great D with the block there, Michaela Can.
It does make me want to hear all the dads who complain about how hard it is when they're playing to stop complaining.
I don't see you bringing the kids along to the game.
I will not either, because they are uncontrollable. Nice rebound, Davidson there.
Here's Tapia. Looking to open up her scoring tonight on the drive. Down it goes.
Well, that's tough for Michaela Khan, because I thought she was pretty well set. It'd be interesting to see if we have a replay of where the feet were before that. But Talia Tapia is absolutely determined to get to the basket off this on ball. Good timing with her and Panina Davidson. Little hezzy action, and Michaela Khan looks pretty set there, had her feet. So maybe needs to slide over a little bit earlier, take that fully in the chest. But Tauihi Basketball with a chance to finish the old-fashioned three-point play here.
At the Chemist Warehouse, and believe it or not, and she does, they're the opening points for the Kāhu after 4 minutes of play.
Oh, how about that defensive intensity of the Pouākai now? They need to match it with some offensive execution to keep themselves in the lead.
Michaela Can teaming up with Rynell. Megan Mullings has come onto the floor as well. She commits the foul there. We haven't seen a lot of the American out of Arizona, Megan Mullings, so far this season. Just over 7 minutes a game and averaging 1 point and 1 rebound, but has been battling that left knee injury.
Yeah, obviously hampered by injury up to this point. Nice to see her being able to, hopefully she's getting closer to full strength, but it can be difficult when you have a troublesome knee like that. As in McGoldrick was so influential in the win a week ago. Looking to have that same type of influence this evening.
Splits the pair at the Chemist Warehouse. She was my preseason tip for most improved player this year, Ezra McGoldrick, and she started really well, hasn't she?
She's certainly started and improved. She's much more aggressive offensively. She seems to have developed her scoring skill set to a much higher degree, feels much more comfortable out there.
Tapia doubled on the arc there. Keep an eye on that defensively. Clearly a ploy by the Pouākai tonight.
Saw a bit of that a week ago as well. She was so limited offensively. We haven't seen Tauihi Basketball with that low an opportunity to score the basketball. It was just 18 points. Yes, she had 18 points, but I think it was only on 8 shots.
A lot of that was late too.
And on 8 shots total. If you can keep the team's leading scorer, their engine, from getting involved, it really messes up the flow.
Ezra McGoldrick knocking it out of the hands of Mullings there was good. Davidson forced to shoot from 3. That one well short.
Well, that should have been out. That was off the stand. And before that, that one I thought was going off Michaela Kahn. She got thrown off, but then bounced off Forrester before it eventually got there.
I think out of all of that, it probably ended up with the right team. Here's Michaela Kahn. Really good last week. Huge game. One to watch tonight. Rynell. Back to the Australian point guard. A lot of 3x3 experience. Sends it out to Forbes for 3.
Well, that's a lackluster defensive effort there. Nobody chased Forbes out that screen. No switch, no communication. And you can't let that be the case against Mackenzie Forbes.
She's starting to get going early, isn't she? Mullings. Thomas wants it down low. So tough in this position. Leaves it short.
The bend break defense of the Pouākai continuing to have an effect.
And now Forbes on the move. Step back.
Good
in
strong.
and out.
Strong defensive presence there by Forrester. Right on the razor's edge of getting a foul, but you're going to have to play physically against Forbes to keep her from scoring in the paint.
Ball out of play.
I actually thought that might have been tipped by Rabati off the hand of Thomas there. Really nice effort by Rabati on the interior. It is going to take a high work rate to keep Amari Thomas from finding success there.
Ledger Walker into the game for Forster. Tapia to bring it in. They swing it from one side to the other. Clean hands, now inside. Thomas up and in.
Nice action off that baseline, out of bounds. It was coming straight to that flex cut. And what I love about Amari Thomas, when she gets that cross screen, she settles under the rim. She doesn't go to the block. She keeps it nice and close so she can get that finish on the other side.
Rynell for 3. Tapia now looking at her options. Her option is get to the hoop.
That transition screen by Panina Davidson set high outside the three-point line, giving Tauihi Basketball plenty of space to cross over Haley Rynell and then finish with that left-handed scoop.
Back-to-back baskets for the Kāhu. Margin back to 1. McGoldrick now looking to beat Mullings. Sends it back. Deep 3. Sean Rabati.
Rabati with the triple. Not bad defense, but Amari Thomas certainly wasn't perturbed by that shot going up. Contested it well enough, but Rabati makes it look easy.
Well, she's been the player to come in for Cassie Brown. She was good last week. Davidson doubled, and it leaves Mullings all alone underneath.
Oh, beautiful pass by Panina Davidson. I love how she dribbles away from the double to give herself some breathing space, and Mullings makes the right cut to make herself available for the pass.
Forbes Nice little pass inside. It ends up with a Rhinell too. Like the work between Forbes and Rabadi then.
They created a good opportunity on the roll with the on ball. But then it was Rhinell again with the work rate. She is really out there putting a maximum effort in the hustle categories.
Pouākai answering everything that the Kāhu give at the moment. Ledger Walker runs into Rhinell, sends it into Davidson, too big.
Panina Davidson's going to be disappointed about that miss. Had Michaela Kahn on her with that mismatch. Just needs to be a bit more patient and not rush that finish.
Davidson only scored 8 against the Pouākai last week. You would think she'll be really determined to bounce back here tonight.
Yeah, I would have thought they would have been a bit more aggressive trying to get her opportunities with the ball in hand, but just the 3 shots up to this point in the ball game, and she is still yet to score.
Forbes looking dangerous, isn't she? Kahn now. One way, then the other. Loses a handle on it. Picking it up. McGoldrick can't do anything with it. Kāhu now on the run. Turn it over mid-court through hands.
Kahn with the deflection. There's McGoldrick with the steal, and then we see a foul up top by Crystal Ledger-Walker.
Yeah, 2 hands on the dribbler in Mackenzie Forbes.
You know what? There's something about this Pouākai squad with the overall size of them. There's a lot of switchiness out there. Even Michaela Kahn can probably switch pretty much up to the 4 spot. So that ability for the defense to switch, I think, is making it tough for the Kāhu to find that flow offensively.
Well drilled as well, aren't they? Forbes comes up short on that 3. Of course, a new coach this season, Paul Flynn, out of Melbourne, is coaching the Mainland Pouākai. Their 3rd coach in 3 seasons.
Their 3rd coach in 3 seasons, but of course, they've kept the assistant coach staff the same in that their coach last year is
Josh
now
Thompson.
Josh Thompson has become the assistant coach. So there is some flow there, some familiarity. I think Josh Thompson didn't have the time to commit to the job, but still wanted to be involved in the program. So it's good to see them kept around.
Mullings turns it over at one end. McGoldrick can't finish at the other. And there's a foul off the rebound. That'll be against the Kāhu.
Well, not a bad foul in that position to take away the opportunity to finish on the fast break.
Getting back to Paul Flynn, lots of experience in Australia as well. He's been with the Nunawading Inspectors in NBL 1 for many, many years now and spent some time with the Melbourne Boomers organisation in the WNBL. So he knows his basketball.
Well, he does know his basketball, but he couldn't convince his players of that after they were watching some film of him on the social media.
I did see that. I did see that.
Sharing. He's showing him the way he used to did it. There was I gotta say, a amount of disrespect that I would have not been happy about.
I'm not sure if he was trying to show them that he used to play the game or that he used to actually have a mop of hair.
I think it was mostly that one.
Pouākai by 4 inside the last minute of an entertaining first quarter tonight. It's been a tough one. These two battling away again. And Rhinell, nice work defensively on Thomas.
Well, Thomas has the strength to get to her spot and use that up fake so well, but the second jump of Rhinell to get that left hand in and knock it away without fouling. Excellent technique defensively.
Getting nearly 3 steals a game also, Hayley Rhinell. So she's a good defender. Here we go.
Thomas in the post again. But they couldn't get it to her.
Rhinell was tracking her to Paya.
A beautiful flare screen there by Steph Bairstow. Opening up to Paya, who has that look in her eye tonight of a player who's looking to get going offensively.
Speaking of going, Kahn going all the way, running out of runway in the end. McGoldrick can hit 3s, not on this occasion. Look at Rhinell getting after it.
That is, Hayley Rhinell is playing with some reckless abandon right now, and I don't mind it. You know, you're going to get some fouls like that occasionally. Oh, a little chat back between Coach Paul Flynn. I think not super happy about the aggressiveness of the foul there, but I love that from a player. If I'm coaching a team, chase after that basketball. Don't do it when you've got 2 or 3 fouls. But sure, early in the game, go ahead and see what you can get away with.
Both teams have their BNZ player timeout to use. Dying seconds. Ledger Walker up high. Now a battle on the boards. McGoldrick comes up with it. Got to get it up at mid-court. She won't. That'll do us. Quarter time here tonight. GJ Gardner-Holmes, Tauihi. It's been a fun one. It's been a tight one. Tough battle, as you would expect, between the Kāhu and the Pouākai. There's one in it. Second quarter coming up. No Mai Hockey Mile, welcome back to Tamaki Makaurau, North Shore of Auckland tonight. Long weekend here in New Zealand. And a good clash unfolding in the GJ Gardner-Holmes Tauihi. The Pouākai lead it by one. Tough start both ways. Let's not forget the Pouākai took down the Kāhu just 6 days ago in Christchurch. Speaking of,
they take down a large cup pepperoni pizza?
You stole the words right out of my mouth. Large cup pepperoni, $30. That's this week's special with thanks to Sal's. There's the online code available till next Wednesday. Get in and enjoy that one. Casey, your thoughts to quarter time tonight?
Not as efficient offensively as I thought either team was going to be, but not a lot between these teams. 5 for 16 shooting for both squads. Only 1-3 for the Kāhu, 2 for the Pouākai, so they're both doing it on the interior. And not a lot of turnovers, so despite the high level of physicality, both teams taking pretty good care of the basketball.
Here's Rynell on Davidson, sends it to the corner. On the drive, Ashley Strawbridge is into the action, turns it over.
And just enough physicality there from Shavana Pavlos to make it a difficult finish. And Strawbridge, I think, got caught a little bit between finishing on the strong side or going to the reverse, and that's when she lost possession of the basketball.
Here's Pulvast. Now with Ledger Walker. Lots of cross-screening, down-screening, part of this Kāhu game plan. Tapia leaves it low.
Oh, no, that's a bad call. That looked pretty clean from this angle.
Ledger Walker.
Of course, the angle closer to the ball might be better than the one that we had from over here, but not a lot of argument from Crystal Ledger Walker in that one. Position stays.
Line ball, wasn't it? That's her second personal foul. Here's Forbes and an offensive foul on Michaela Khan.
She doesn't like the call, though. She thinks there's nothing going on there, but she's still moving and making contact in that rub screen. So it was the aggressive defense that time by Talia Tupaya, where she's really chasing after the player she's guarding, which created that opportunity for her to get fouled.
It is a very common offensive foul that we see in basketball, isn't it?
Especially on that handoff. You're still sort of in movement mode, and if you don't expect that defender to be coming through, it can't put you in a bad position.
Davidson. Rynell with the job again. A lot of contact between Forbes and Tapia. What a ding-dong battle that is at the moment. Ledger Walker running out of real estate, sends it back to Tapia from deep. Rabati rebound, up quickly.
Good pace in transition. The Pouākai pull it back out to reset.
Here she is on the end of it. Nailed a big three in the first quarter. Forbes, that's a tough shot over the top of Bairstow.
Tauihi is really putting her body through these screening opportunities that the Pouākai are setting up on her.
Here she is, ball in hand, sends it to the corner. Steph Bairstow, Davidson, and there's another offensive foul.
This one on Bairstow. He's disagreeing with the call.
Well, we mentioned during tonight's earlier game, Casey, the Sky Broadband Rapid League, which, by the way, the Kāhu got up and won 34-25, but there was probably 6 or 7 offensive fouls called in that game as well.
Yeah, tightening it on the illegal screen, it looks like the movement and the advantage created by that movement is being tempered right now.
No score added.
These are some strong screens values being set by both squads out there.
Shot clock at 6. Khan goes into the corner. 3 ball for Strawbridge, in and out.
Nobody boxed out Michaela Khan, so another opportunity for the Pouākai.
Here's the Australian point guard, spinning one way, then the other on the turnaround. Off to the right, Thomas rebound. They settle the Kāhu.
And right now, it's not about the defense, but it is about finishing the defensive possession with rebounds. And that was the first time in a while that it was limited to 1 shot on that end.
Thomas, strong, off the block and off the glass.
Just wills that ball in. I don't know how she got that much spin on the basketball to spin up over the rim after that defense there.
Had 37 last week against this opposition. Rabati short. What are the shooting percentages so far tonight? No.
Both teams sitting right now, I think before that last, the Kāhu now just 6 for 19 at 29%. The Pouākai at 5 for 18, or 6 for 19 as well, 29%, so, or 5 for 19, so 25% there. So not very good. Both teams under 36% from 3, or sorry, under 25% from 3. So not the offensive explosion we saw last week.
Just saw Jodie Cameron moments ago pacing the sidelines. Don't think she's taken a seat all game yet. Nothing to relax about right now. 1 point in it. Ledger Walker.
A nice hesitation dribble to create some space for that finishing opportunity, but can't get the kiss off the glass.
Mackenzie Forbes taking a break at the moment. Michaela Khan hit some big threes last week.
Pouākai now 2 for 10 from beyond the arc. The Kāhu 1 for 7.
Tapia being tracked closely. Short corner. Ledger Walker can't get it to go. McGoldrick takes contact and doesn't get the roll either, but
Davidson.
Yeah, foul.
Illegal box out there. To me, it just looks like the physicality with which this game is getting played. It didn't look like there was anything untoward there, but the physicality is arcing up every possession for both teams. We're seeing a lot more illegal screens. I wouldn't be surprised if the officials start calling this a little bit more tightly just to rein it back in.
Timeout called, 6:17 to play in the first half, and you take a look at that scoreboard, you can see how tough this one is. Speaking of tough things, Sal's Hoopheads every Thursday night. Catch up with the team on Sky Sport, talking all things basketball. Tauihi coming up tomorrow night. The Phi and the Queens lock horns again. They played each other just a week ago. It was a 2-point thriller. Jordan Horston and Ashley Jones put on an absolute show in Porirua. They meet each other again tomorrow night. Some injury news out of that game. Michaela Cowling, still no sign of her. She's missing through illness tomorrow night for the Phi. And Tamari Key, a rolled ankle at training during the week, is a late scratch for the Queens.
It does make it a little bit of a different matchup, especially without Michaela Cowling. It'll be interesting to see when the Phi are finally able to get her in. But looking at tonight's game, it was a 25-20 quarter time lead for the Pouākai a week ago. But the Kāhu...
So 45 in the first quarter last week.
45 in the first quarter last week. And we're here at 27 halfway through the second quarter this time around.
Wow.
The physicality is the thing I'm noticing first and foremost. Both teams, I think the Kāhu have accepted the challenge that the Pouākai laid down last week. Came a little bit late to be in the game there, but they have certainly responded here on their home court.
Back out of the timeout, into the hands of Rynell. Again, bodies going down off the rebound, and a foul called here against McGoldrick.
Yeah, just a little aggressive when she didn't need to be. So Forrester will now inbound from the sideline. Second personal foul on the Pouākai.
What a coaching staff that is.
There's a few coaches there.
Jodie Cameron, Leanne Walker, Justine Reed. So much experience between the three of those. Wonderful coaches. Here's Thomas.
He's trying to grab herself up.
There is so much going on off the ball here. It's been Forbes and Tupaia. Now it's Ashley Strawbridge getting amongst it with Talia Tupaia.
Well, Talia Tupaia is actually trying to foul bait. She's trying to wrap herself up with Strawbridge and convince the officiating crew that she's being held. There is some contact there. It's physical basketball. But the actual play she's complaining about, she was the creator of.
And out of all of that, Amari Thomas is headed to the Chemist Warehouse. Usually pretty good from this spot. First one is down. Shooting at 93% from the stripe this season, Amari Thomas.
Well, 37 a week ago. That's point number 6 right there.
Scoring has been so hard to come by here tonight. Margin of 3. There's Michaela Khan. Tracking her, Chloe Forster. It was strong, wasn't it? Now Rynell looking to get past Ledger Walker. Nowhere to go. Shot clock at 5. Pouākai need to come up with something real quick. They go inside to Rynell. Too much on it in the end. And now Thomas back the other way. Crystal Walker says, get inside, Amari.
She wants the high-low. Good help side from Michaela Khan, sitting in the key, making it a tough pass.
Tupaia, this time the whistle in her favour.
Well, she's just determined. Determined to go through that physicality and get the whistle and get a bucket.
One of the strongest players we've seen in Tauihi, Talia Tupaia. Only played 3 games last season, Case.
And words there from Coach Jodie Cameron to Strawbridge coming off the court.
Interesting.
She does not like the way that Tupaia is being guarded right now. She sees that they're rotating bodies and really lifting that physicality. Tupaia has taken exception to it, and now so is the coaching staff.
Abby Cabillo has just stepped onto the floor for the Pouākai. New player tonight. Comes in from Australia. The young guard out of Darwin, Northern Territory. And here she is, ball in hand. Abby Cabillo, welcome to the GJ Gardner Homes at Tauihi on debut tonight. Has some WNBL experience with the Sydney Flames and Townsville Fire. There we go. More contact. Kāhu get the whistle. And Talia Tupaia right in the middle of it again.
Was that called on Ezra McGoldrick or Sean Rabati on the screen? I'm not sure if it was the off end pushing off. Second personal foul. We'll try and track that one down. But either way, determined on the defensive end to Talia Tupaia as well. She is not backing down from any of this contact.
3 Tall Ferns teammates right there. Here is Tupaia firing away for 3. That's how you respond.
Second 3 of the ball game for her after getting the second personal foul on Ezra McGoldrick on the offensive end.
And the margin out to 7. Pouākai just cannot land a blow right now. Rynell around traffic off the glass. That's good to go.
Well, she's got good recognition there of the size of the defender. Crystal Ledger Walker just can't keep her out of the post.
Thomas.
That should have been a foul. That was a lot of contact on the shot.
Rabati gets away with one. McGoldrick now. Rynell on Davidson. Again, she gets to work, gets busy, and puts it down. Bonus coming up from the Chemist Warehouse for Hayley Rynell.
Well, Panina Davidson's expecting some help there. She's looking at her teammates like, where are you at? Second personal foul for her there. And Hayley Rynell, determined to that right side. Defensively, you want to force it to the left hand. She hasn't looked comfortable dribbling to that side, but going from that left block to the weak side, much easier for her to create that scoring opportunity.
And all of a sudden, through Hayley Rynell, they've scored the last 5, and we're back to 2.
Yeah, her work rate finally rewarded on the scoreboard as well, because she has been excellent in all the other areas of the game. She's now got 7 points.
Davidson on the move.
7.6 rebounds for Rynell. As Panina Davidson makes that one look easy and starting to pick up her efficiency on the offensive end.
Hope you're enjoying it tonight, right around the world on FIBA YouTube, throughout the United States on ESPN3. Hello to all of our American fans, and of course, every game live on Sky Sport here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Tight one tonight, 3.5 to play in the first half. Forbes, right on the buzzer. I thought that was going to go in.
He had the right angle, just a bit strong.
And now Chloe Forster. Now, Cabillo's been called for the foul here.
That
right arm was out from Forster, yeah.
It looked like to me, much the way you were mentioning, Justin, that Forster created that contact by stretching out, reaching out. Fair disagreement there in the Pouākai huddle as well.
Fair bit of whistle at the moment in this second quarter. Chloe Forster out of Western Australia at the Chemist Warehouse.
And I did like the recognition she had there when Cabillo was on her, that she could have the opportunity to get inside and get a look off.
Does a bit of everything, Chloe Forster, Case. Just under 12 points a game so far this season. 6.5 rebounds, 5 assists. She's just that energizer bunny, isn't she? She works so hard both ends of the floor.
She is, and that was one of the things that affected the Kāhu in the last game, was she just couldn't get going. 0 for 5 from the field, just 2 points. She still affected the game in other areas with 9 assists, but didn't get those steals and rebounds that she normally does.
Cabillo. Davidson just left her alone in the end. Allowed the open shot. Rotuno now into the action. Tapia.
Oh, get through there. What a pass.
What a pass, and unable to finish. Thomas. It deserves so much more, didn't it?
Well, Mari Thomas and Talia Tapia having a little bit of a laugh at it on the other end, but a beautiful opportunity that unfortunately goes wanting.
There's Paul Flynn, coach of the Mainland Pouākai, watching on. He's probably a little bit worried about the score at the moment with regards to his team scoring points. It's been slow going in this second quarter. Davidson comes up with a great defense, Panina.
The turnover is starting to mount up for the Pouākai. That's number 7 here before the half.
Tapia, busy, and drains another 2.
He's determined to score right now, creates that space so well. Is that off Cabillo? What a job by Rotuno there.
Speaking of Energizer Bunnies, Lily Rotuno, the 20-year-old, getting amongst it. Tapia's moved to 12 points in the game, by the way.
It happens quickly. Talia Tapia finding herself some opportunities from the perimeter and on the interior, imposing her will on the game here in the first half.
Well, the Pouākai closed it up. Now the Kāhu on the move again. One side to the other, off the screens. Tapia on the curl. Can't get it. Ends up with Davidson for 3. Oh, high up and under. Rabati with the rebound. Forbes now, short corner. Does put it away.
Finally gets the roll. Mackenzie Forbes hasn't had a lot of bounces go her way, but that one does to get her up to 7 points.
Started well tonight, didn't she? But it's been a tough matchup with Tapia. Speaking of which, here she is on the step back 3. Oh, she's fired up, ladies and gentlemen. Talia Tapia.
Be careful when you poke the bear, because you just might wake it up.
That is a bear you do not want to poke.
And this is one that is well agitated right now. 15 points at the half.
McGoldrick answers with a triple.
Huge shot there. Solid offense. And the rotation down to the post by Talia Tapia to take away that post move actually leaves McGoldrick open in the corner, and she makes the defense pay.
Just over a minute to play. Opening half. Oh, look out.
8-second call.
So a turnover there for the Kāhu. Both teams have their BNZ player timeout to use.
Nice defense there. Making it difficult for Chloe Forster to bring that ball up the court.
Speaking of timeouts, Paul Flynn calls one for the Pouākai. 1:07 to play in the first half, 29-23. It was a slow start. It was a tough start tonight for Talia Tapia, but tell us about her stats with thanks to Chemist Warehouse.
Well, she's up to 17 points now. And shooting the ball quite well, finding some success from behind the line, where she is 3 for 5 from the field, 6 for 9 overall. And she's drawn 5 fouls already in this game. So it's proving a very difficult cover. Leading scorer in the ball game by far, only player in double figures.
So 29-23. The Pouākai just sticking in there, aren't they, Case? It's been a tough night so far. Let's not forget, they put 88 on the Kāhu just 6 days ago. 88 for a 9-point win. Certainly hasn't been as free-flowing this evening.
Well, a game of basketball is a funny wee thing, isn't it? Sometimes everything goes your way, and sometimes it does not. And it's pretty easy to play well when things are going your way, when the offense is flowing, when the jump shot's leaving your hand and it feels so perfect. But right now, it's a grind for both teams. And the Kāhu may have found their way out of it through the play of Tauihi Basketball. Who are the Pouākai going to lean on now? Because they need to find a way to get themselves back into this game. If I'm the Pouākai, I don't want to be down 10 points at halftime. If I'm not down in this area or not closer, I'm not feeling very good about the second half.
Well, let's see what they can do out of this timeout. Forbes. Nowhere to go in the end. Tanil Khan puts it down in between the legs and through Hayley Rynell. And that's another turnover.
Turnovers are mounting up for the squad now on 9.
Forster aggressively sends it out to the wing. Pulvast couldn't convert, does get it back though. Sends it back to Chloe Forster. That won't go. Davidson again. Third effort for the Kāhu. This time it's good.
Panina Davidson giving the Pouākai a better taste of their own medicine. They've been so good on the offensive glass. Davidson says, I'll take 2 and a bucket as well.
Margin out to 8. Rabadi. They just look stagnant, don't they? Not working right now for the Pouākai. Shot clock at 5. Again, they've got to do something late. Somehow it ends up in the hands of Rynell. Loose ball, picked up Davidson. And that'll do us at the half. So second quarter belonging to the Kāhu tonight. They're out by 8. And definitely off the hand of Italia Tapaya. 17 points in the opening half for the star Kiwi. And the Pouākai just struggling to get rhythm right now. Still, half a game of basketball to go. They were very good against the Kāhu last round, but they've got some work to do here tonight. Talia Tapaya has been on fire. Let's head down and catch up with her right now. Here she is with Casey Frank.
Yeah, they're coming at you really physically, but you've been able to find a way to get through that defense. What's been the key to finding some freedom?
Just sticking as a team, running through our plays, knowing what we want to get out of them.
Defensively, you guys have done an excellent job, down to 23 points. What's the key to keeping the Pouākai from finding some efficiency offensively?
Yeah, just knowing what their scout is, knowing what each player is going to do and sticking to it and then boxing out and running the floor.
Thanks for the time.
Starting to fire up, isn't she, Talia Tapaya? That second quarter, exceptional. And at the half, the Kāhu lead it by 8. Plenty to talk about on the other side of the break. Chemist Warehouse stats, not too far away. Kāhu lead it 31-23.
Sharpshooters here looking for $100 per shot made off the glass. You've got 16 seconds. Oh, just a bit strong on that one. Looks good. Yes, got one down this here, one down here as well. We got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And what a buzzer beater that was. Well done to our contestants. They've also got some merchandise as well heading their way for the most successful shots. How many were you shame it doesn't stop there though. We've got, thanks to the inclusion round, our Auckland Wheel Breakers.
Welcome back to Eventfinda tonight, Friday night hoops in the GJ Gardner Homes Tauihi inclusion round, of course, and we're seeing some wheelchair basketball in front of us at the half here tonight. Kāhu lead it by 8. Have you ever played wheelchair basketball, Casey Frank?
Yes, and unsurprisingly, not good at it.
It is tough. Justin Nelson, Casey Frank with you tonight. Hope you're enjoying it right around the world. Certainly the Kāhu fans enjoying what they're seeing at the half, especially out of the hand of sharpshooter Talia Tapaya. Let's have a look at the Chemist Warehouse stats with the Kāhu leading this one 31-23. Well, starting with the blocks.
Start with the defense where the Pouākai got in there. Michaela Khan, and of no surprise, Haley Reinel is able to get in there and get some. She's leading the way in scoring for the Pouākai as well, but not touching. Talia Tapaya, 17, leading the all scorers in this ball game. And she has played all 20 minutes to get to that score line, supported by Amari Thomas and Panina Davidson. Mackenzie Forge and Haley Reinel both with 7 points for the Pouākai. On the rebound side, starting some inroads from the Pouākai late in that one, who really dominated early, but the Panina Davidson efforts late got her up to even with Sean Rabati at 7 rebounds apiece at the top of the ledger.
Pouākai were plus 11 on the boards last week against the Kāhu, so it's definitely been an emphasis for the Kāhu tonight, hasn't it?
And they were down about 8 not too long ago, but just 2 rebounds difference at half, 23-21 in favor of the Pouākai. On the assists, Ezra McGoldrick and Michaela Khan, 2 apiece. Panina Davidson and Crystal Ledger-Walker, they're equal. Finishing with the steals and a few too many turnovers for the Pouākai. That's probably been the big problem. 9 turnovers of the half. And 6 of those have come by steal, 2 by Crystal Ledger-Walker and 2 by Amari Thomas. And Michaela Khan doesn't want to be the only Pouākai, but she is with 2 steals there.
And the Kāhu have scored 10 points off those turnovers as well. They lead it by 8. Round 4 games to come. The Fire and the Queens tomorrow night from Taupō. Andrew Mulligan and Kaysen Bookman with the call on that one. And then Sunday afternoon, the Pouākai back at home taking on the Southern Hoiho with Nick Bewley and Maya Williamson. We're going to enjoy some more wheelchair basketball inclusion round in GJ Gardner Homes Tauihi. Quick break here from Eventfinda. Back with the second half after this.
4, 3, 2, 1. supplement there, which is keeping us nice and jacked up for the second half.
Nā mai hoki mai, welcome back to the North Shore of Auckland tonight. Friday night hoops in GJ Gardner Homes at Tauihi. Nice crowd out here tonight. It is a long weekend in New Zealand. I think it's the Labour Day weekend, is that correct,
Labour
Casey?
weekend.
Still catching up after 6 years in the country.
You don't take holidays, Justin. That's why you don't care.
Margin at 8 points, Pouākai and the Kāhu. What do you got planned for the long weekend, by the way? Kid time?
All of this, bro. What are you talking about? It's just basketball and kids in between. You never know. It depends what the weather goes, but always nice time to enjoy with the family, except for, on the Monday when the kids don't go to school.
Oh, they get the day off as well, do they?
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Why don't we ever have a public holiday that the parents get off and the kids don't?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I'll speak to the government, see what I can get done.
There's the vote tonight. Who's going to win? Certainly the bulk of the viewers are going with the Kāhu.
Pouākai have creeped up, though. It gained 3% since the beginning of the game, so a bit of a belief out there. But this one, to me, is looking like 9 or over from the Kāhu, which is also the way I went on mixandpick.com before the game.
Reigning champs, the Kāhu, of course, took out the 2023 title. The Queens won it in 2022. And here we are in season number 3.
I want to see what the Pouākai are doing coming out of halftime to create some offensive opportunities.
As I said, they scored 88 on the Kāhu last week.
And that's they just have not been able to get any freedom of movement out there. Everything's really well contested. Not a lot of looks down in the paint either. So what can they do here in the half? It was a lot of transition in the game a week ago. Michaela Khan in particular found a lot of that activity in that first half. Can she find a way to start pushing the pace a little bit and have her teammates run with her to get that ball in the bucket a bit more often?
So here we go. All eyes on the Kāhu and the Pouākai tonight. Round 4 underway. GJ Gardner Homes Tauihi. Earlier tonight, a win for the Kāhu in the Sky Broadband Rapid League. Tapaya creating some space and drawing contact.
Interestingly about the Kāhu, they've changed their starting 5. They put, they haven't done, but nice drive there by Talia Tapaya, just putting her head straight down, finding the activity in that straight line drive. She's been settling for that jump shot, finding some space behind the arc, but she's not letting the defense rest when they're matched up on her right now.
Heads to the Chemist Warehouse. First one is good. Second youngest player ever to debut in the Australian WNBL. Did so at age 15 and was drafted to the Minnesota Lynx in 2017 with pick 36. Talia Tapaya.
Mackenzie Forbes just uses the elbow to clear her out, gets the shot off, but can't hit it.
I did notice when you were having a quick chat with her at the end of the first half, she didn't give you much, by the way.
Not much. She's here to play, not to chat. Wags her later.
Forbes has it knocked out of her hand. Good hand in the end by, Chloe Forster, really good.
I mean, it was a good move by Mackenzie Forbes there. She created a bit of space, but the quick hands of Chloe Forrester knocking that out and earning the shot clock violation.
Margin at 10. Here is Forster. Came to the Kāhu off a big season with the Perth Redbacks in the Western Australian NBL 1. Has also spent some time with the Perth Lynx in the WNBL. Look at the patience of Amari Thomas.
Well, they've gotten a lot of mileage out of that little screening action on the baseline to get Amari Thomas those deep catches. And that time it completely freed her up as a foul is called out on the perimeter. First foul of the quarter.
No, it's on Tapaya. Tapaya and Forbes tangling up again.
Feel like that will be the only time.
Seen that happen a few times tonight. There they are, Tapaya and Forbes, having a great battle this evening. Oh, good hand in the end from Forster, yeah, on Rynell. And now she gets on the drive.
I really like the move that she made after letting the defense come, but here come the Pouākai in transition.
McGoldrick, good hand in the end from Thomas. And they've got it back to Kāhu.
Well, I like the thought of McGoldrick. Both defenders came to her. She thought she could drop it off to her body, but unfortunately goes with the nutmeg right between the legs, out of bounds.
Not sure what the lowest score recorded in Tauihi is, but the Pouākai would want to get a bit of a move on right now. Thomas, was there a bit of a step in there? Doesn't matter, got it back and got it in.
Just the ball sitting on the rim for an achingly long time before dropping there.
So back-to-back baskets for the Kāhu to start this third quarter. In fact, make it back-to-back-to-back on the turnaround. Shan Rabadi, everything is so hard to come by.
Well, gets that deep catch, goes to the fadeaway, gets slapped on the arm. That's why the free throws are coming, but neither Shavana Palvas or Talia Tupaya. I think there was enough contact to earn that whistle. Surprising that.
Margin at 14 now. Make it 13.
Danger time here for the Pouākai.
Well, you just get the feeling, Case. Kāhu first lost last week after 10 straight wins spanning over 2 seasons. First time they've lost since August 2023. First time they've ever lost to the Pouākai. They trailed by as much as 19, got it back, went down by 9. It feels like they took it personally.
A little bit. They're certainly playing with a much higher level of physicality, speed, aggression in this game than we saw a week ago.
Tapaya, second effort, so close.
She's not giving up on the play either.
A lot of fun to watch. Hope you're enjoying it. It is combat up and back tonight. McGoldrick adds 2. Talia Tapaya on her backside.
That was Haley Rynell getting tangled up with Talia Tapaya that time, and Rynell did not like the activity.
Well, the Kāhu are about to call a timeout, and I would encourage our Sky Sport camera operators to follow Jodie Cameron, coach of the Kāhu, because I reckon she's about to give somebody a serve. 7:05 to play in this third quarter. 37-27, margin of 10. Rynell having words with the coin officials. It is on.
It is on. This is a test of wills right now. At the moment, the Kāhu are imposing theirs on the game, but the Pouākai are not going quietly into that good night. They are here to win. They're fighting hard. They're trying to drag their way back in this ball game. It's not the defense, but offensively, they just have no answers for that, what has been an impenetrable wall set up by the Kāhu.
GJ Gardner-Holmes Tauihi highlight show every Tuesday night. Fair chance you'll see a few Talia Tapaya triples in that.
There could be 1 or 2. There could be 1 or 2 from this game. She's got some deep ones, and I feel like she's got a few more to come. She's sitting on 19 points, only player in the ball game other than Amari Thomas has more than 10 points. Amari Thomas, of course, coming off that 37-point outburst a week ago.
Yeah.
Still been aggressive and been effective offensively, but hasn't had that same number of touches. You wonder where the Pouākai defensive strategy changed, because they were so happy to funnel things to Thomas in the post a week ago and slow down everything else. Haven't been able to do that to the same effect today.
Well, 167 points scored between these two teams last week. What are we on? 64 right now with 17 minutes to play.
It's a 103-point difference so far.
That was very quick.
Thank you.
Let's see what comes out of this timeout for the Kāhu. No, I'm impressed. I am impressed.
Quickness, not known what I'm known for in my post-basketball world.
Tapaya to bring it in. Thomas. And again, they go from one end to the other, or in fact, they come back. Tapaya for 3. Underneath. Thomas had it blocked once. Was fouled the second time by McGoldrick.
Well, just great positioning. She's not the tallest player on the court. She doesn't have the best reach, and she's not the biggest leaper. So occasionally when she's down there, she can get her shot blocked, or she might not get the rebound, but she understands how to use that little dribble bump to create that space. That time, it earns her a trip to the Chemist Warehouse stripe, as the taller, longer Ezra McGoldrick could not keep her from getting that ball to the bucket.
Second one's a miss. They keep it alive, though.
Well, the offensive rebounds starting to become a real pain for the Pouākai.
Pulvast down low to Thomas. She's definitely the target right now, and why not?
Strong. Just really moves here. Reinhold there, pushing her off, and then meets her with a bump at half court.
She's on the move, isn't she? Great hand there from Tupaia. Pouākai needs something right now. Can they get it out of Khan, beautiful, or maybe Reinel?
Beautiful pass by Michaela Khan. That's the leaping bounce pass. You don't often see somebody jump and be able to make the bounce pass, but she put that right in the pocket. Forster and Khan now getting into it a bit.
Margin at 11. Thomas back into her hands. Forster has Thomas outside, goes it alone on the step through.
Well done with the footwork.
Oh.
Michaela Khan gets the offensive foul called because Chloe Forster has been setting her up for that for a while now.
Well, here's the basket.
Setting her up for it. Michaela Khan does not like it. Has something to say to Forster. A little bit. It might have been a little bit of chat of a flop there, post play.
There has been some serious spice between these two teams tonight.
The Pouākai came out playing with a level of physicality, trying to slow down the Corin, and the Kāhu have responded in kind. On top of the fact that a week ago they have that loss, that may be where some of the spice is coming from.
We are very fortunate with our position court side. We get to see and hear a lot, and there's not a lot of love lost between these two teams right now. Here they are, centre to forward. Thomas on the turnaround, can't finish.
That's a big stop for the Pouākai. A lot of opportunity there, but they were able to hold the fort.
Khan sends it back into Rabadi, knocked out of her hands by Forster, who seemingly is just racking up deflections tonight, Chloe Forster.
Well, she's active on the defensive end. I'd love to have that type of player leading your way at the PG position. And they got two of them. Crystal Ledger-Walker comes off the bench to pick up where she leaves off.
It was lucky for the Pouākai. It was a poor pass. They'll get to do it again. Looks like their inbound has been pretty well scouted. Khan now, well held. Corner, three. McGoldrick, no. Khan gets up.
Oh, good effort. Unfortunately for naught.
And back they come, the Kāhu. Fortuitous at midcourt. And a foul on Forbes.
How about Chloe Forster in this third quarter here? Injecting her energy and will into the game. I mean, the stats, they're not crazy. She doesn't have a ton of them at the moment. She's got 4 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. The steals, just the 1 apparently. Plus minus of +7, but the effect in the game seems more than what the stats are saying right now.
Well, if deflections were a stat, she is game high. Well, she is game high right now. That one rattles out. Kāhu get it back.
Panina Davidson just refuses to quit on the play. Right now, does her best to box out the bigger player, but the effort, they talk about it, and it's actually going to go with the Pouākai after a wee bit of a chat.
So a change of decision there between the coin officials. There was an article written during the week. Amari Thomas was likened in terms of being that undersized 4 to Pero Cameron. Just her patience and her footwork. It is such an apt description, isn't it?
I think in skill set, yes. In the form of play, probably not says much. Pero was such a facilitator out of the post, more of a passer, sort of that point forward stop, when Thomas is obviously a scorer, but certainly in the skill set, the softness of touch, the lightness of foot, I can see what you're saying there.
Yeah. Badly needed basket there for the Pouākai. Back to 12. Midway through the third. Here's Forster again. She's doing a lot right here this evening. Davidson wants it inside from Thomas. How well do those two team up, Casey Frank?
High-low, whichever way you go, you're going to be in trouble. That time, Thomas dishing down to Davidson. Great position. Those deep, deep catches, so tough to defend.
They're just always looking for each other, aren't they? Forbes leaves it short.
It's just that kind of night. The ball bouncing off the hands of the Pouākai, just not coming their way. And Ezra McGoldrick, 2 hands on the hips, gets herself in trouble defending 85 feet from the basket.
It's going to give away shots as well in the bonus.
And that's the last thing you want to do is let this Kāhu team rest up with the 14-point lead. Get the defense set on the other end after these free throws.
33-19 run since quarter time tonight. Scoring has been at a premium. It has been your quintessential arm wrestle.
Forrester up to 6 with that bucket from the free throw line.
And you're right. It's not that she's scored a lot, but it just feels like she's been involved in everything.
Just the energy in the game, just her attitude's been infectious, and the pressure she's putting on Michaela Khan, who we've mentioned a few times was so influential in the win a week ago when she had 26 points. That is just not the case today. Khan has been held to 2 points on just 5 shots.
Well, had 26 and 5 assists as well. So she was really active for her teammates. Here she is now. Michaela Khan doubled up high, sends it off. Rabadi with some space. They need this and they get it.
Rabadi's on that short list of players who have improved quite a bit this season as well. Nice to see her expanding the game out beyond the three-point line.
They are hanging in by a thread. Bairstow on the drive to Paya from range. Well, she's got no range. She can shoot it from the car park.
Like that two-woman game there, the kick to Bairstow, who on the dribble penetration draws the defense off of Tapia, who makes them pay for doing so.
What's that, her 4th triple tonight? Look at Forster again at midcourt. She's wrapped that up.
Somehow got that cleanly, forces the jump ball. It will stay with the Pouākai. Take another look at this one. Bairstow right into the defensive Rabadi, forcing her to help a little bit. Makes that help just a tad bit late. Talia Tupaya now up to 22 points.
Well, we talk about the value that Chloe Forster brings to the game. She has made something out of nothing there.
She just continues to do so. Still doesn't get credit for her steal, but those are game-winning plays.
Yep.
That change over the possession arrow. So now that the Kāhu have it to start the 4th quarter. So leaving just 9 seconds on the shot clock for this possession for the Pouākai.
Yeah, that wasn't a BNZ player timeout, by the way. Just cleaning up the court. Players took the opportunity to talk tactics. Big bodies inside, Rynell doing battle, and just a lack of recognition of the shot clock there.
Well, there wasn't a reset to 14. It was still sitting at 9 seconds because it was a jump ball, so possession stayed, nothing changed. And just didn't have enough time. The defense of the Kāhu more aware of the time and situation than the Pouākai's offense was.
Well, if they were tuning into the commentary case, you did say it.
I tried to mention. No, I'm pretty sure nobody on the court was listening to us, though.
Inside the last 3 minutes of this 3rd quarter, Tapia, dump and run to Davidson. Second effort, up she goes, Panina.
Oh, nice action. Talia Tupaya, she's scoring well, but she's also facilitating, creating a lot of opportunities. Panina Davidson, that time, doesn't give her teammate the assist, but gives her the bucket.
Long time to crack the 50 tonight. Kāhu are there, Strawbridge in and out. Forster rebound, and she's on the run now. Waits for the cavalry to arrive. Swings it out. Tapia had a sneaky look, then gets on the drive and has it slapped away by Rabadi.
Nice defense, Sean Rabadi. Comes over from the weak side and says, get that shot out of here.
Forbes now. A lot of contact there. Foul called.
Going to be shooting. Mackenzie Forbes hasn't really had a lot to do offensively since that opening quarter. Just 7 points now. If she could get hot to finish this off and pull this within 10, that would be helpful to the Pouākai as Talia Tupaya flies by the zone there on the free throw.
They need to win this next 2 minutes, the Pouākai. That one won't help. In and out from the Chemist Warehouse for Mackenzie Forbes. Seven in the game. As you mentioned, started well, but she's missed the second there as well. Came in averaging 100% from the line. First misses of the season for her. Tapia
Feeling it.
rarely misses from that spot. Pouākai get away with one. Now Reinell battling with Davidson. And they made up for not having Cassandra Brown last week, Casey, the Pouākai. Gee, they've missed her tonight.
Yeah, well, the imposing of the will on the interior has been a bit more targeted than I think it was a week ago. A lot more activity on the offensive glass, but it's more been just a step up in physicality. Wide open underneath, nice cut right now.
Kāhu just missed her, didn't they?
Everybody worried about players coming off the double screen. Opens up the opportunity for a slip. Nice design, nice execution.
Splitting the gap to Paya.
Oh my, that's on Reinell. I thought that might have gone on Talia Tupaya. But it was Reinell defending her where the whistle is aimed.
Well, that was just some pinball action there from Talia Tupaya. Bumping and banging off bodies. Timeout called here, 1:34 to play. In the third quarter, the Pouākai are sticking around, but gee, they cannot land a blow tonight. That shooting percentage seems very, very low. We'll check it out on the Chemist Warehouse stats.
Yeah, it's been a tough night. Never really got it going, but still sitting at the Kāhu, not great at 36%. But the Pouākai, a little worse at 32, and just 25% from deep. And they haven't had enough trips to the free throw line to make up for it. Just 7 trips in total to the Chemist Warehouse stripe, from which they've made 4. And that lack of efficiency on the offensive end has taken away the ability of their hustle, their work rate, to make inroads into the scoreline.
Kāhu back at home in round 5. Thursday night action next week when they host the Phi, and maybe that'll be our first look at Michaela Cowling for season 2024.
It's been great to have her return to the court. Was so influential in the Phi activity a season ago, an all-star 5 player. And to me, last year, she wasn't the MVP, but I thought she was the best player.
Yep.
From start to finish. You know, without her, the Phi certainly would have been in dire straits, but
so much fun to watch, isn't she?
Well, great fun, great, and really enjoys playing. I think that's one of the things that makes it enjoyable to be a spectator of her game.
Yeah, you're spot on there. I've got to say, every time we ran into Michaela Cowling up and down the country, always smiling, always energetic, loves the game. Can't wait to see her in action, hopefully next week. Tapia adds another couple from the Chemist Warehouse. She continues to add the points. 1.5 to play in this third quarter. By the way, the Phi in action tomorrow night in Taupo, taking on the Queens. Tough night for Michaela Khan. She's off to the Chemist Warehouse here. Foul on Lily Ratuno.
Well, determined to get to the cup to create something positive going towards the basket. Out of that timeout. Takes that contact, can't get the finish, but off to the Chemist Warehouse to see if she can't take advantage from there.
Does take advantage with the first one. Every team has a win, every team has a loss in season 2024 after 3 rounds. 2 from 2 from the Chemist Warehouse for the Australian point guard. What did you make of the Southern Hoi-Ho last week getting their first win of the season?
Well, did it the same way they've been playing all season long. Really strongly defensively, and this time they had a little bit of offense to go with it as well. Nice to see Elise Hurst with 20 points in that one. And
yeah.
Samantha Bowman, whose work rate is at least the equal of anybody in the competition, also got it done offensively at 20, and that's a big key for the Hoi-Ho. They need to find ways to keep that scoreboard ticking over, as Community Davidson did just then.
Davidson has had a solid night tonight. This margin is now pushed out to 17. Rabadi on the turnaround and off the glass, banks it in.
Well, good effort by the Kāhu to make that a difficult possession, but better execution that time. Nice deep catch, good finish in the post.
Oh, look out. Look out.
That's
Talia Tapia.
That is a pure finish, up to 27 points now. Is she trying to become the 3rd Kāhu player with 37 in this competition?
You just cannot go under screens on Talia Tapia. It's a killer.
Going under is death. on Tauihi Basketball.
Dominated tonight. Right now, had to work really hard for that shot, and that'll do us.
That's the key, Justin. Every possession, the Pouākai have to work so hard right now, and it's coming easy for the Kāhu.
They extend again. 1 to play tonight. They're out by 18. The champs looking to bounce back from last week's rare loss, and so far, so good. Fourth quarter coming up tonight. GJ Gardner Holmes, Tauihi, BNZ Northern Kāhu lead it by 18.
Each one corresponds to a slice of New York pizza. Thanks to Sal's and Pizza, New York pizza, that is. The real stuff. Now Sal's NBL seal with our GJ balls. Another one, Juliet. A and B, 1 and 2. We've got a few more seconds. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. You've got a couple more seconds. 2, 1. Pasavinas! Yes! I didn't see up here if you got it, but well done to our 2 Juliets. Let's hear it for them. All right, we'll get you off court here because we've got our final quarter action. The girls coming on. And thanks once again to Sal's. I think the New York pizza there. The Sal's steal for Tauihi Basketball Aotearoa. All home matches.
1 quarter to play here tonight in Auckland. Kāhu lead this one by 18 at 3-quarter time. Chemist Warehouse stats definitely going the way of the home team. Before we look at those, the large cup pepperoni pizza, that's this week's special with thanks to Sal's. There's the QR code. You know all the details, you know what to do, and you'll save some money. Just $30 for the large cup pepperoni. Tell us about those stats, Case.
Well, the shooting percentage is not pretty. 33% for the Pouākai, 39% for the Kāhu, but starting to get prettier from deep for the Kāhu, who are now 5 for 16. Most of those coming from Talia Tupaya, who's been able to hit her way, half her way from deep, all 5 times. So all that activity from her. But the big one is the turnovers. Just 4 for the Kāhu and up to 15 for the Pouākai. That difference is what's the difference on the scoreboard right now.
And last week, the Pouākai scored 18 points off Kāhu turnovers. Oh, a couple of misses there for Michaela Khan, all wrapped up. But the turnovers have certainly been a talking point tonight, going back the other way, and the Kāhu have made the Pouākai pay for their indiscretions. Forbes had it, lost it once, twice. Foul called, looks like on Crystal Ledger Walker.
Said something about selling the foul there, but it looked like a bit of contact to me.
Mackenzie Forbes maybe just
She wants the shot.
pleading for a shooting foul there. She may get it. Oh no, it's
Don't
going to be
think
baseline. No.
The foul claimed on the floor.
So it's been a really good response tonight. In a battle, it should be said. There's been nothing easy about this contest. A lot of physicality. A lot of chit-chat. But the Kāhu so far have put their foot down and made a bit of a statement. Ball in. McGoldrick, good hand to Paya. She is on fire tonight.
She is not backing down defensively.
Leading the MVP at the moment. Thomas inside. Turnover, clumsy pass, Rabadi. It ends up with Thomas.
Crystal Ledger Walker thieves it again. Great read, just hanging around, seeing what might come up and what comes up. There's another turnover, number 16 for the Pouākai.
Rynell on Davidson, hands it off. McGoldrick, who's been well held tonight, adds 2 there.
Very nice bit of skill on display there as Forbes and Tupai get tangled up again.
That's about round 17 between those two.
Only 17.
Thomas underneath somehow got a shot up.
Back down.
How often does Amari Thomas, if she misses shot number 1, how often does she get a second look? Just seems
those second chance opportunities
all the time.
It's part of the positioning. You're working so hard defensively as Rynell gets that finish in transition, but you're working so hard defensively to try and test that shot that it opens up the opportunity for her to just get in there and wedge her way in a little bit more for that rebound position.
Davidson on Rynell, foul on Haley Rynell.
She felt it was pretty clean, but she's going to pick up foul number 3 there.
So margin at 18. Now there's the MVP vote for our viewers so far tonight. So this is all about you, our viewers. Scan that QR code. It's fun and it's free. There's a Sal's Pizza up for grabs. We want to hear from you. Who do you think is tonight's MVP? And not surprisingly, Case, Talia Tapia leading the way quite comfortably.
I do appreciate that Chloe Forrester.
It is good, yeah.
Has a little bit of activity there. Penina Davidson and Amari Thomas, of course, have been influential. Shavana Paul-Vost, I think.
Couple of mates out there.
Got some friends. Definitely appreciative of her efforts.
That's okay. She's been in the game a long time.
Right now, the lone Pouākai on the screen right now, doing it with work rate. That's a double-double that she just added to there. She scores .15 to go with 11 rebounds.
I like the little hezzy mid-air as well. 62-46. Here is Chloe Forster. Been terrific. Sends it down low to Penina Davidson, just banging bodies.
Just good patience shown. 12 points for Penina Davidson now, 1 rebound short of a double-double herself. And the Kāhu well in control of this ball game.
Who's the most physically imposing player in this competition this season, Case, in your view? From what you've seen so far?
That's a great question. Come back to me in a possession or two. Let me have a wee little think about it.
Forbes battling away. Turnaround leaves it short. They'll go again. And it is Forbes. Not her night. A couple of baskets early in the game, but it's dried up since then. Had a couple of looks at it there. A little bit of a party starting here tonight at Eventfinda Stadium, and with good cause. The home team on the road to victory. Crystal Ledger-Walker always makes that turnaround look so easy.
Well, sometimes the DJ starts the party a little bit too soon, but Crystal Ledger-Walker is just snapping up those passing lanes.
Hands it back, Amari Thomas. Crowd gets up and going.
Cash it in, Amari Thomas up to 20 on that one. Crystal Ledger-Walker does the setting up, and Amari Thomas does the knocking down.
21 the margin. Friday night hoops, GJ Gardner Holmes, Tauihi.
Spacing just a little bit off of the Pouākai. Every time they're trying to get a driving lane, they end up driving at somebody else. And here we take another look at Crystal Ledger-Walker. Says, you want it, Amari? You got it.
Saw Amari coming from a long way back.
Just timing it down, waiting for you to get here. When you get to the line, I'll hook you up. Don't worry about it. Yes, the Kāhu have the stars and Thomas and Tupaia that can put points on you for all day long, but they've got a bunch of grinders too.
They have.
Forrester, Crystal Ledger-Walker. Penina Davidson, I'd say a star, but she also grinds her way through. Their work rate is fantastic. They don't back down physically.
But even the little roles that Steph Bairstow plays and Lily Rotuno and, we haven't seen Asia Anderson in this one tonight. We saw her earlier in the Sky Broadband Rapid League, and she just does not stop.
She had a little taste in Tauihi in the first half.
Oh, did she?
A little bit of time. But they have a lot of choices of players to cycle through when they need to. Coach Cameron deciding who might be the next sub. And back to your question, most physically imposing player. I mean, Amari Thomas, not of stature, but certainly of style of play.
Yep.
When you're just talking about size, you can't not mention Tamariki, her just sheer size. She hasn't been able to translate that into her influence in the basketball game.
Lou Brown's pretty tough down at the Queens.
She's been playing quite well as well. The next two we're going to mention are going to be Panina Davidson and Lou Brown.
Yep.
Both those players. And I haven't seen her in person yet, but McSpadden.
Yeah.
What she's been able to do rebounding-wise is we see another triple from Amari Thomas.
Back-to-back for her. You mentioned Samantha Bowman before for the Hoi. She's tough.
For me, that's more on work rate. That's not as much about the physical position. You know, that's not just like, it's just that she's out there working, putting herself in position.
And if we are using the word imposing with a capital I, how can we look past Talia Tapia?
It's there ain't no guards out there doing it like her, that's for sure.
That's going to go against Amari Thomas. Just a slight nudge in the shoulder there as she tried to seal down low. But they have blown this one out the Kāhu.
Well, the question is now for the Pouākai and Coach Paul Flynn, when do you start thinking about Sunday?
Well, it's not too far away.
24 points down. There's 5 minutes left in this one. Do you want to try and see if you can't get some momentum? Because at this point, offensively, I don't see them working their way back into the lead. But you can get...
Well, they got the Hoi coming their way, haven't they, on Sunday afternoon? And they're in a little bit of form, given their win last week.
They are. Do they need to find that form again in this last 3 or 4 minutes? Or can they give that time back to the bench and let the starters just start to lick their wounds and start to think about that next game on the docket?
MVP vote right there, Talia Tapia. The fans and the viewers out there getting Talia Tapia up to the top spot tonight. 64% of your vote. It's not too late to have a say. Some Sal's Pizza up for grabs.
Body jumping up to 7%.
You're right.
The Pouākai Ryan vote.
You are right, though, Case. Great to see Chloe Forster being recognised by the viewers in there with 17%. May not show up in the stat sheet. We've said that a few times tonight, but, gee, she's played one heck of a game.
Well, so often basketball just gets equated to the best scorer as your best player. But most of those scorers can't get that done without everybody around them. Basketball's a sport on two ends of the court. The defense is just as important as the offense, if not more.
Amari Thomas probably deserves a little bit more than 3%, it must be said as well.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Get your votes in now. Another 5 minutes to go in this one tonight. We're headed down to Taupō Event Centre tomorrow night. Some Saturday night action in Tauihi with the Fire up against the Queens. Looking forward to that. Khan sends it back. Long three. Doesn't go down for Rabati. And here they come again, the Kāhu. Amari Thomas has been in great touch right throughout this game. Who's that going to come off in the end?
He's going to stay with the Kāhu after a little bit of hot potato on the sideline.
Shavana Palvas, great to see her back playing in New Zealand. Many, many years with the Tall Ferns. She is retired from the national team now, but I think, from memory, this is her first time back playing on home soil, which is just a heck of a story.
Yeah, outside of some 3x3 Cup action, she's applied her trade in Australia, so it's fantastic that we've been able to get here for her back for T3 of Tauihi.
Rynell has a player hanging off each arm.
Officials love it when you complain about a foul call right after you got a foul call. I know, because I used to do it a lot.
That was a foul, ref. I know. I just blew my whistle.
Sivi Palvas checks out of the ball game.
And this is going to be shots now for Hayley Rynell. What have you made of her game tonight?
Well, in the beginning of the game, I thought it was her work rate that was driving the Pouākai completely, that she was being able to do on both ends. And she's been able to grind her way into a double-double. Hasn't had the most efficient game, 8 for 15 from the field, but the 17 points, the 13 rebounds has really been the brightest spot for the Pouākai overall, and she certainly has not backed down from the challenge defensively or in the game of physicality either.
Their points percentage is going to take a bit of a battering tonight, the Pouākai. Of course, every point scored and conceded in both the Rapid League and Tauihi goes onto the Tauihi ladder. Look who comes up with it. Amari Thomas.
Just feasting at the end of this game.
So just to get back to that, the points percentage, points for and against, for the Pouākai will take a bit of a battering tonight. They lost the Sky Broadband Rapid League earlier tonight by 9 points, and obviously they're facing a heavy defeat here. So all of the points in Rapid League also go onto the ladder in Tauihi, and as we saw play out in the Sal's NBL, it gets down to the end of the season. If you end up on the same amount of wins, a couple of teams on the same amount of wins, that points percentage then becomes the separator.
Well, it's going to keep, I think at least, well, it's going to keep one team out of the finals, but where it's really going to come into play is that home court advantage. And it's, if you want to get it up, and the Queens right now looking like a team that could challenge for a top 2, but not there percentage-wise, so I think that's going to open up the opportunity for one of these other squads.
3.5 to play. Look at the hands of Crystal Ledger Walker, the thief.
Another swipe added to the ledger.
I like what you did there.
Thank you.
Forster.
Crystal Ledger Walker hasn't scored yet.
Done a lot of other things,
But
hasn't she?
She's got 4 assists, she's got 5 steals, and she's got a rebound as well. Just herself and Forrester, that's a pair to have that's so sacrificing of their own games for their teammates.
Deep 3 is well short for Sian Rabadi. And let's not forget with Crystal Ledger Walker, she's just getting her feet back underneath her. Gave birth, what, 6 months ago?
6 months, I believe it was April.
Yeah.
So it's has not been very long.
Saw her young daughter, Tupa, crawling around before.
I don't think I was playing basketball 6 months after my first baby. And I did not have as much to do with it.
Tapia.
Again. What is she doing back in the ball game? You're up 25.
Oh, and she's hit the floor again.
Takes the charge. But Mackenzie Forbes didn't mind getting that one.
Mackenzie Forbes just turned around and put her hand up straight away. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, sure thing. I really don't like that foul, especially at this point in the game right there.
Well, here it is. They've been clashing all night, these two. Keep an eye on them. There it is.
Just a little chicken wing?
Yeah.
Just a little chicken wing, and here comes the subs.
Well, I think Jody Cameron heard exactly what you said then, because out comes Amari Thomas, Talia Tapia, Penina Davidson, Crystal Ledger Walker, and Chloe Forster. That is a job well done by those 5 tonight.
Talia Tapia finishing with 29 points, 4 rebounds. Amari Thomas, 24 points, 8 rebounds. Penina Davidson with 12 and 12 double-double. Impressive production from that trio.
They look good, don't they? How many points did you say for shot clock violation there? How many points did you say for Amari Thomas
24.
tonight? So
with 8 rebounds.
So she goes up to 480 points in Tauihi.
Not bad in the season in 4 games.
She's the best in the business in this competition thus far, and you would think next Thursday night against the Phi, Amari Thomas will be the first to pass 500 points in Tauihi. She just needs 20 now. There's the game MVP, Talia Tapia, still leading the way, 58%. Chloe Forster has 20%. Amari Thomas has moved up to 8%.
Yeah, that's a solid list there. I'm still going with Talia Tapia. She's my MVP of the day. I think the way that she brought the offensive firepower when nobody else on the Kāhu was able to in that first 2 quarters, in the first half of the 3rd quarter. Nobody else on her squad was really able to get anything going, but she took that load, carried it until her teammates were able to come do their part down the stretch.
Is there anyone missing on that list that you want to encourage our viewers to think about?
Haley Rynell, I think, had an opportunity for the visitors to be included in there, but when it comes down to it, there can only be one MVP.
It's a pretty clear-cut decision tonight, isn't it, Talia Tapia? She was the league MVP, of course, in season 2022, and then only played the 3 games last year before sitting with a shoulder injury. She's just gone through 10 months of rehab on that shoulder, by the way, so let's not forget that either.
A complete reconstruction in there. But it wasn't like an injury she just got last season. It was one she was dealing with for a long time, so fantastic to see that hopefully put behind her permanently.
2:24 to play here tonight. Can the Pouākai get something out of this late?
The benches have cleared.
We have mentioned that the Pouākai need to step out again on Sunday afternoon. They have the Hoi Ho set to pay them a visit. Of course, they clashed those 2 teams back in round 2. Hoihor led that by as much as 19. Another shot clock violation. Couple of minutes to play. Rotuno. Just another one of these young players with so much energy, Lily Rotuno. Good hand in there from Cabillo. On debut here tonight, her first run in New Zealand. The 25-year-old out of Darwin. First ever Northern Territorian to play in the Australian WNBL, so a nice accolade there for Abby Cabillo.
Nothing like being the first.
Chance in the corner for three. Lily Rotuno.
Makes it look easy on that catch and release out of the corner. Solid offense continuing to add to this lopsided scoreline.
And here are the two point guards going at it, Cabillo and Rotuno. Strawbridge sent it out to the left wing. Morrison for three, in and out.
And see how hard the offense pushes here down the stretch to finish this one out. Of course, we are mentioning count back in percentages, so both teams need to keep the work rate up.
Rotuno, speaking of work rate, she'll head to the Chemist Warehouse for a look at a couple of shots. We just see Megan Mullings on the court there for the Kāhu. It's been a tough start to the season for the 31-year-old American. She's been battling that knee injury, but hopefully she's not too far away, Casey, from getting going.
Promising signs in the first half, look to be moving pretty freely. And it would be a nice arrow to put in the quiver if they could get her back to full strength. With that size on the wing.
Rotuno. That one doesn't drop. Manamaluga draws a foul. Tara Manamaluga getting a run here late in the game. Another Kiwi residing in the northern state of Queensland these days.
There's a lot of them flocking over there.
There's a few. And Manamaluga off that foul in the bonus. We'll head to the coloured stripe. There's Jodie Cameron. She wasn't too happy 6 days ago, but she'll be certainly a lot happier here tonight. It's been a good performance from the Kāhu.
Well, that season is always a work in progress. You haven't reached the finish line until you're actually there. And, you never feel too good about the good stuff. Don't feel too bad about the bad, because it's normally somewhere more in the middle than you think.
Margin of 26. Not sure we're going to see too many BNZ player timeouts down the stretch here tonight. Ball into the post. There is Mullings.
Foul called on the shot, or is that going to be on the pass?
I think we might have seen a foot. Yeah, might have seen a foot on the baseline there. So the Kāhu will keep it.
2.6 left. Somebody's going to have to inbound it.
You think?
Everybody's looking to come off that screen that time, I think.
It's my shot. It's my shot. Shot clock at 2.6. A lot of confusion at the moment. They're going to miss out here. No one's aware. And there it is. Shot clock violation. So there was a bit of a confusion there between the score table, the Kāhu bench, and the Kāhu players. And in the end, just a lack of recognition. A rare turnover tonight for the Kāhu. Dying stages.
See if the Pouākai can't get one final bucket for their flight home to reminisce on.
To Olave out there now, so to Morrison. Contact there, no whistle. Anderson comes up with it. And that'll just about do us. Jump call there, yeah, between Cabillo and Rotuno. Rotuno's actually got up a little bit sore from that on her elbow.
Yeah, landed on that one, so just 3.5 left. See if the Kāhu can't get one last jumper up.
And BNZ play a timeout, so they will advance off this and get one last shot. And that'll give us the chance to bring up the QR code with thanks to BNZ. Here's your final chance of the night to scan the BNZ player timeout QR code. Now, this is how it works. School groups, community groups, sports groups. There's tickets up for grabs with thanks to BNZ. Tickets to the big game. You can get your group together, you can come along for free, and you can see some of this great action in GJ Gardner Homes Tauihi. Just scan that QR code, put in your group details, and with thanks to BNZ, your group could be off with a ticket to the big game. To the Kāhu, get something in the last play of the night. Besto, that doesn't get up in time. And that'll do us. A 26-point margin in the end. Kāhu get the victory. And really, after a tight opening quarter, it was the home team that owned the contest.
Well, this was the Kāhu team we expected to come out, one that was fired up and determined to get a victory after getting that first loss of the season. And I think we learned one thing. This is one group that you do not want to make angry.
Speaking of players you don't want to make angry, Talia Tapaya, the Bear was poked a few times early in the game, and the Bear responded in a big, big way. Talia Tapaya, the star of the show tonight, 29 points. Penina Davidson, 12 points, 12 rebounds. Amari Thomas ended with 24 points and 8 rebounds. So the big three for the Kāhu came to play in a major, major way. Hayley Rynell, 19 points, 14 rebounds for the Pouākai. But it was a tough night. Let's go down to Casey Frank. Looks like he's got Chloe Forster with him. Here he is. He's having a chat with her at the moment.
Chloe, fantastic effort tonight. Maybe not the impact you might expect to have offensively, but you're impacting the game in so many other areas. What's your mindset when you're coming in and having that kind of effect on the game?
Look, I'm just coming to this team. You know, I didn't really know my role right away, but I'm, you know, filling it in each week, you know, trying to figure out where I sit in the team. We've got some amazing shooters in this team and some friggin' amazing post players. So I think just finding my shooters and, you know, knowing when my players are on the road, I think that's how I'm, you know, playing so well.
In today's performance against the Pouākai, they were so good last week defensively, keeping you guys out of your stuff. But tonight, the Kāhu were able to get much more efficient offensively. What do you think the key was there?
I think it was just focusing on, you know, the controllables, what we can control. They killed us on the O boards last game, so that was a really big, you know, focus for this week, and I think we nailed that tonight, you know.
And moving forward, what is the key for this Kāhu team to reach its potential? Already such a force in the competition. It can obviously go further, but how does this squad get there?
We've got some key figures that have stayed back from last season, so I think just slotting in with the new players, you know, everyone trying to find their role, keep building each week. You know, we're getting better and better with each practice, getting to know each other. We just got to keep building to another level, and we'll be sweet.
Well, great win tonight, and thanks for the time.
Thank you very much.
Thank yous in there. Chloe Forster, really good tonight. Key part of this win for the Kāhu. They get home by 26 in the end. It was a tough grind early. Points were so hard to come by. But when it opened up, no doubt the big three were a reason for that. Tapaya, Thomas and Davidson. And as you just said then, Casey, may not have been about the points for Chloe Forster, but gee, she just does so many other things.
Yeah, she really got herself involved, and you hear her talk about still just trying to find her place in this team. We know we got scores, so I'm trying to find a way that I can be most effective, and you love to hear that mindset from players. So often, the activity on the basketball court can come down to making or missing shots, and you know, if she looked at just her offensive game tonight, where she was 1 for 5 from the field, she might feel like, those 4 shots, I'm thinking of those, but you know, I had a coach a long time ago, you know, how much time in the game did those 4 shots take? 4 seconds, 8 seconds? That means 8 seconds of the clock on those other 39 minutes and 52 seconds. Yep. What are you doing out there? The shots don't mean anything if you can affect the game in other ways.
Well, let's have a look at the Chemist Warehouse stats for this one tonight. And look at that. We talk about the big three, the three-headed monster that is the BNZ Northern Kāhu, and out they came tonight. When this one was up for grabs, Tauihi Thomas and Davidson put on a show.
And worked their way into it. It didn't come easy. It wasn't layups all the time. The defense of the Pouākai was stout, but they were still able all to reach double figures. Rhinell leading the way for the Pouākai with 19 onto the rebounds. Penina Davidson and Rhinell having a battle there, both with double-doubles. Ezra McGoldrick just missing her 10th. As Mari Thomas just off double figures by 2 into the assists. And more one-on-one basketball than I think I would have expected. Penina Davidson and Crystal Ledger-Walker leading the way with 4 each for the Kāhu. Michaela Khan ends up getting 5 assists in this one at the floor general spot for the Pouākai. Not too many blocks for the Kāhu. With Talia Tupai, only one there. Sean Rabati getting 3 swats, including a massive one in that, but did not have enough of an effect on this Kāhu team. And there's the story of the ball game. Look at those steals, 11 of them on the board to 2 for the Pouākai. Crystal Ledger-Walker leading the way. And everything I just said about Chloe Forrester, the same can be repeated about Crystal Ledger-Walker. 0 for 5 from the field, but 5 steals and a plus-minus of plus 22 in her 23 minutes.
It's good, isn't it? What was the margin tonight, Casey? I know the answer, but
26?
26 is the answer. The reason why I wanted you to say that, 20 turnovers for the Pouākai tonight, and off those turnovers, the Kāhu scored 25 points.
And there's the story of the ball game. Take care of the basketball, and you will be in much better stead against this Kāhu squad.
Flying the Queens tomorrow night from Taupō Event Centre, Rapid League 6:30, and then Tauihi at 7:30. Your thoughts there, early?
It's going to be an interesting game. A new venue that we haven't seen before in the Tauihi competition. A Phi squad that I think needs to start getting a little bit desperate to get back on the winning ledger. The Tokomana Queens side that I don't think we've seen the best of yet, and I can't wait till we do.
Round 5 tips off next Thursday night at this venue. Kāhu in the 5. Grab your tickets. Just want to quickly chat about the Pouākai and the Hoiho on Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. Rapid League, 3 p.m. for Tauihi. Hoiho would have been sitting at home. Dunedin tonight. Todd Marshall and his troops would have been watching on. What do they take out of this one? And more importantly, what do the Pouākai take out of it?
Well, I think the Pouākai have got to find a way to get more efficient on the offensive end. The defense, we did enough defensively. We held this squad to 76. If we play well offensively, we can win. So what can we do to get better quality looks with more consistency? That's what they're going to be finding. And the Hoiho, they're going to say, hey, look, if we throw our bodies around, we can make things tough on the defensive end for them. If we do not let them have their way, if we force them into difficult decisions with our physicality, that will put us in a much better position to try and get a victory. And
the early word is Cassandra Brown will not be playing in that game on Sunday afternoon either.
Which will make it a bit more difficult, but certainly a game that the Pouākai still have the talent to win.
Well, that's us done for tonight here in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland, on the North Shore, of course, where the BNZ Northern Kāhu have got up in good fashion, home by 26, a big margin for them. Same team they lost to last week by 9. They win it 76-50. Safe trip home for the Pouākai tomorrow morning. On behalf of the entire team here at Sky Sport, Casey, Frank, and Justin Nelson wishing you all the very best. We'll see you tomorrow from Taupō.